Hello, chat.
He's gone.
Yeah, he should be.
Yeah.
They're just talking Sagat. Don't worry. That's what they do here.
I didn't say anything.
All right. Sean, are you hosting?
No.
Okay.
You need me to.
Sean, are you gonna count to 5 for me so I can check your levels?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I'm gonna turn you up a tiny touch. Just a tiny touch. Don't worry about it. 135. There we go.
Oh, I need to grab something.
Yep, go ahead.
Anybody knows how to house the podcast?
Yeah, so get someone off the street. Give me the other Cuomo. He's not doing anything, right? What's that Cuomo's name? He's actually on WGN with the
Chris
show.
Cuomo?
Yeah, Chris Cuomo.
Fuck that.
Like
One's
I was
worse
on
than the other.
I was on vacation, and so I had hotel cable, and it was like Cuomo. I'm like, he still has a show, and it was on Chicago TV. Like, oh man.
Local TV. Hell
It's
yeah.
like, WGN does have a
Making
cable
it big.
network, but like, it's WGN, which is like the lesser of the cable channels.
Lanky Cuomo.
Yeah, Lanky Cuomo.
He just gives lanky energy.
All right, let's see here.
Lanky energy.
Woof.
He will be in the gang. What was it? Gangbang Kong? Whatever the fuck.
Orangutan gangbang.
The orangutan gangbang. How
He will
could
be
you
in that
forget?
game.
Lanky Cuomo for sure would be involved. Okay,
Jesus Christ.
let's see here. Bring this
You know
up.
what
Get you adjusted here.
I copy and pasted the Bombcast rundown into this podcast. So
Let's go. Really crossing streams tonight.
same topics, and half of the
There's
same
only
people.
so much to talk about.
Yeah, well, we're just gonna riff. It's all right.
We got
Same
fat
audience.
mailbag. We got show tonight.
Okay. Well, hang on. Let me. Wait, what is this song? What is happening?
Animal Crossing.
Like Columbros over there.
Oh, it's Bayou Boogie. Okay. Yeah. Well, hang on.
Where's
Let's
the
figure
gimmick?
that out.
Camera's blown out.
Let me pause the cheers. Such a good show.
Dude, Cheers rules. It is legit my
So
favorite
funny.
TV show.
It's great.
It is so fucking funny.
It's such smart comedy. I love it so much.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm just gonna. Who cares? Mike's not here. We don't do anything by any rules.
Who
Who
cares?
cares?
Who gives a
That's
fuck?
the energy we bring into this, yo.
That's
Fucking yeah, bro,
what
let's
the
go.
people pay for. I know, but that's what I know.
We enjoy about this game, as goddammit. We put half the effort.
All right. Let's see. I'm gonna do that.
All right.
Okay. Let me get the right music, and then we'll be good. Last
You
Nintendogs.
better get that music right, boy.
Get that music, white boy.
I'm going for a ponytail.
I didn't
chat.
say white
It's not
boy.
quite long enough.
Yum yum.
You guys should hear that. It
We
should
hear
be
Wario.
loud for them now. Okay. I'm gonna start the show. You ready?
1 sec. Need some water desperately.
Yeah. Do your thing.
As ready as everywhere.
Oh yeah.
Delicious.
Yeah. Is that good?
You
shit?
need that. You need that in Arrakis. Sorry, I'm doing peel.
Start the show, Jeff.
Yeah, that's where water's from. The Dune IP. All right, I'm gonna start the show.
Yep.
In 5, 4, 3.
Hey, you guys hear me? Start cheering now! Yeah, let's get this over with. Yeah.
Woof woof. Hi, I'm Jeff Grubb, and I am a Nintendog.
Hi, I'm Sean McDowell, and I use an analog stick for Tony Hawk's Pro Skater.
Ah! On today's episode, and we are the last.
And we are the
Nintendogs.
last of the Nintendogs. God damn it!
Who, like I said before we started, who cares? We're just gonna do this episode however we find it. All right, no fixing mistakes. Exactly. Glad you could be here, Sean. How you doing?
I mean, like, you're not using this like crap ass D-pad on the GameCube.
No, you're not. Listen,
like,
you are not wrong. If you're, especially you played a lot of Tony Hawk on the GameCube, you are forgiven for using the analog stick. And it's not like it's
got
impossible.
The octagonal gate, so it's it's accurate. Like,
it's not a game that's impossible to play with the analog stick or something like that. Far from it. It's just a game that was designed for D-pads, and so it's like
initially. Yes.
Yeah, and they didn't really update the controls to be like, well, let's take advantage of analog sticks. Not too much.
I was definitely thinking about this though. So that means that you like ran around on foot in Underground using a D-pad?
See, I don't know. Maybe I like in that situation, maybe did I go to the analog stick to move around? Probably though. No, I probably used the D-pad.
I mean, you totally could. Like, you know, I'm the Mega Man Legends guy. I know how to run around with a D-pad.
Right.
I just feel like that feels a little weird for Underground.
But you know what we did instead, Sean, was we just complained about the getting on the foot in Underground instead of being like, I'm going to use the analog stick. We're just like, well, this sucks. Why would you do this? I can't play it.
I too read EGM back then.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, it was a little bit hurtful to see that just slightly more people in our poll use the analog stick for Tony Hawk than the D-pad, but I get it.
All that means is that the audience is starting to skew slightly younger. That's all it means.
That's all that means. Should force them to play some N64 wrestling games just so they're forced to use the D-pad. The analog stick doesn't do anything in those games. Or taunts. I think it just taunts. How you been? You been playing anything? You been up to anything? Busy? How are things going?
Pretty good. You know, Games Done Quick was a lot of what I did last week, was just watch that and watch all the awesome runs. They mentioned on the Bombcast today. I don't know if you said anything about it. Did you see that AEW Fight Forever run?
I've not seen it. I need to. Mike was telling me about it a couple times, and it sounds amazing.
It's so good. Yeah, like it's exactly how he described it. They framed it as a wrestling event. And so there was intros, there was drama and betrayals, there was people in the crowd holding up signs and shots. The cameramen were amazing. Like switching between them and everything. So well done. I recommend people watch that as like, that's probably my favorite of this year that I've seen so far. I have a lot to get caught up on. I'm catching all the VODs and stuff, but yeah, including something that inspired me to play something. I think I'll talk about that at the end for what we've been playing, but yeah.
Fantastic. Yeah, I didn't have much time for too much of Games Done Quick, but that's definitely one I want to catch up on for sure. There are a handful of other ones that people seem to be thinking were pretty cool. I always like watching Games Done Quick when I can. It was great to hear that there were some really good ones, though.
Yeah.
You know what? Let's just do this real quick. Hey, thanks everybody for joining us. We're Game Mess. You can go to patreon.com/Game Mess. Join there. Help us out. Help us make stuff. We really appreciate it. There's other ways to support us, but you get all the details if you check that out. Let's get into the news. But really, we got the rundown here, and like Christian was saying, Christian put together the doc for us today. Thank you, Christian. He grabbed a lot of the stories that were already in the Bombcast. So if you listen to both, we're not going to go story by story here. Mostly, I want to talk about Donkey Kong Bonanza before we talk about this direct news. Boy, I'm excited about that. But it also, it feels like a weird launch.
But Jeff, it doesn't run at 144 FPS. I need to be pissed off on the internet about it.
Have you super paid attention to that at all? Because I did a story about it on a couple of shows.
Oh, I'm sane.
Yeah, right. And I'm I had to force through my veil of sanity and peek in and just be like, I think it's just the crazy people who need this to be perfect, freaking out over every little thing. But is this a real problem? It doesn't seem like a real problem to me.
It's important to keep in mind what kind of game it is. And if this was just another open world game, just another Nintendo game that wasn't reaching its performance targets, then yeah, absolutely people will have something to complain about of why is this not hitting your 60 FPS target on the Switch 2? I get that. But it's a destruction game. Like literally even when I was growing up, let alone, when slightly older people like you and Mike were growing up, it was a cool thing when there was any kind of mechanic, destructibility later on, whatever it was, that would slow down the game.
Yeah.
because we look at that, we're like, that's cool. Even nowadays, like if someone's like playing Minecraft on a gaming PC, you don't say, damn, why is Minecraft not running at a locked frame rate? You say, man, I'm bringing my 4070 to its knees. That's awesome. Like, and that's how I'm feeling about Bonanza right now is, dang, there's so much going on screen that, yeah, it is dropping into like the 50s or 40s or whatever it may be. I haven't really been paying attention. Some people also mistake hit stun and hit stop for slowdown, which is not the same thing.
Yeah, that's wild. That I did see that, and I was like, oh, are people really making that conflation? Because that's a little bit embarrassing. I don't know who was doing that or what. I don't know. That bothered me.
I've seen it a little bit here and there.
Okay.
Yeah, but like, I get it. I think some people, a lot of people on the internet just want to be mad about video games. Jeff, I don't know if you've realized this over the years, but
it doesn't sound right. I've never seen anything like that before. Yeah.
Especially with the Switch too. A lot of people are like, I don't like this and I think it's bad. And you seem to like it and think it's good, but that can't be right because I think it's bad. You need to be angry like I am.
Yeah.
And I'm just not thinking about that hard. Like you and Mike, or especially you talked about leading into the Switch 2, is kind of the Switch Pro. We all know it. It's got exclusive games. They're slowly coming out, just like with the Switch 1. We'll get one every month or two throughout the rest of the year. And I'm having a good time with it. I'm not angry about it. DK Bonanza isn't something to be angry about either, in my eyes at least. How are you feeling about it?
Yeah, I mean, for like all the stuff you said about the slowdown, I'm right there with you. We'll see. You know, we have to get it in our hands. If it's problematic, we'll call it out at that point. But before these games come out, whenever we kind of get this, at least, you know, there's the Paper Mario: The 1,000-Year Door, right? That's going to be 30 frames per second versus 60 frames per second. Like, that was just a very easy thing for me to understand. And even in that case, it's like I played the game, like, I ended up not caring about that all that much, barely noticed. But it's like that. It's like, okay, we can have that conversation. There are more frequently situations like this where it feels like we are just talking about something that is might be upsetting because we need this game to be perfect, and so we're laser focusing in on any one of the flaws that we are perceived as you know, dents in the armor here. And we do that just because we're freaking out because we want this game to be perfect because we've waited a really long time, or we just bought a $500 system and we need to justify it. And so it always feels like it comes from that point of view. So it's very easy for me to be like, I'm just going to play the game and judge at that point. Hang on, kiddo. And then as far as Donkey Kong goes overall, like, it is all I'm thinking about right now. A big part of that is those previews were really, really glowing. I mean, you know, it's the word everyone keeps using, glowing previews, but I think it's accurate. And then, you know, early just buzz here and there. And it doesn't seem like very many people have review copies. There's some review buzz out there, and it sounds very promising. And, you know, who knows? Maybe I'm just hearing one side of it. Maybe there'll be, you know, a side that is a little bit more critical or something. But for me, it's like, oh, this could be a banger. This could be another Game of the Year contender right away you know, for the Switch 2. And that gets me really excited.
Yeah, it could be. I think that's the important distinction here is most of us have not played the game in any extended capacity. I'm not going to get mad at trailers. If it comes out and is like a train wreck performance wise, yeah, let's absolutely criticize it for what it is. But I haven't seen that level yet. So I'm just not getting angry about it. It's one thing to expect better once you have the product and you know that it is good or bad. And if it's not up to your standards, to then, you know, have a critical eye to it. But I think for now, let us be excited, folks. Like, it looks good. Let us be excited for something that looks fun, you know?
Yeah, we're people are saying embargo lifts tomorrow.
That checks out.
Yeah, like at 9 a.m. Eastern. Okay, cool. I'll be keeping my eyes open. I'll also be kind of interested to see who got review. Like, Giant Bomb definitely didn't get review code. We have not gotten early review code for Nintendo games for quite some time. It doesn't seem like that's going to change, but whatever, that's not a big deal. But I think there was a bunch more that did not get review codes because Nintendo's being kind of weird. I guess that's another thing we could talk about. Nate the Hate did a podcast. Yeah, there it is. Nate the Hate did a podcast recently where he started talking about developers are still struggling to get dev kits for the Switch 2. And it's kind of a weird thing there where it seems to be Nintendo And like, well, do we know you that well? And so, well, we've made games for Nintendo systems a bunch before. We're just sure we're an indie dev, but can we still get one? It's like, oh, you're just not on the right tier. Like they're on a certain tier of developer getting dev kits, and you're not on that tier yet. Why those tiers need to exist? It's a little bit confusing. It's starting to frustrate some developers. And then on our side of things, you know, even beyond Nintendo jail stuff, like they didn't give almost any early Switch 2 systems, and Mario Kart was hard to come by. But I think we were all like, is that just the launch? And now it seems to be kind of continuing with Donkey Kong Bonanza. Although, again, we'll see how many people actually have reviews tomorrow, because I guess we don't really know. It's just we've heard that most people don't have review copies. That could be right. And what's going on here? Do you think Nintendo is just kind of working backward from, hey, we want to stamp out piracy and we don't know where it's going to come from, or what?
Look, Jeff, I don't know what's going on, but I think it's Mike Minotti's fault at the end of the day,
I mean,
no matter what.
It's almost not an exaggeration. He said how many cat chants were in a game, and here we are.
Yep, it all leads back to Mike and his butt stuff. But I think it's Nintendo being draconian. Like, let's be real. We love Nintendo's games. We know that they can be a really awful company sometimes. And I think that's what we're seeing happen here, is that they're being very selective. They're being very picky. They want to make sure, how much do we trust you? Kind of like you were saying. They want to make sure that they're putting these systems in the hands of people that they are just absolute positive sure nothing will go wrong with. And I think they're being heavy-handed in doing so.
Yeah, it's also just kind of that's how Nintendo handles any problem, right? The problems could be different. They could come from any number of angles or possible weak points. Nintendo's just like, look, we're locking all this shit down because we don't really care. We're Nintendo, and when something is annoying us, we're trying to avoid something, we take out all the stops because that's what makes the, old men that run Nintendo back in Japan feel good, which is, not like some crazy thing. That's a traditional company looking for a simple solution so that they can explain it to the top brass. And oh no, we're secure here. That's a common thing across all kinds of businesses. And Nintendo's really bad with that sort of thing. So
right.
Do you think this shakes loose over the, it's gotta, right? This generation, we're not going to end this generation with Nintendo being this locked down, right?
No, because they need to get more of these into the hands of indies and into the hands of just, third parties in general. I suppose, because my understanding is that it was actually relatively easy to get Switch 1 development kits. I don't know if I misheard on that or anything.
That sounds right to me. I don't remember exactly though, Sean, but that sounds right.
Like obviously still having to go through the approval process and everything like that. But I think they wanted so many people on board after the Wii U that they just floodgates were open. And because of that, maybe some people who shouldn't have got their hands on them got their hands on them. Maybe that led to the piracy problem of the Switch 1 and everything like that. They just went after that big site for pirated Switch games, and that site only existed because, of their security problems with the Switch 1 and, early copies flowing around and everything like that. That's how some copies get out there into the wild. I know a lot of that just came from mom and pop stores breaking street dates and stuff, but all of those little things, Nintendo sees that as something they need to stomp out. They always do this. They always need to stomp out any problems rather than working with their development partners, their review partners, like we were talking about. And it's always so annoying. It's annoying, as a fan of their products, to look at them as a company and be like, y'all need to just chill out a little bit on some of these policies, right?
Yep, they don't know how, and
they never do.
And you hear murmurs out of Nintendo of America and being like, man, dealing with this company is going to drive me insane, and in some ways they're worse than ever, and in some other ways it's they're so locked down that we struggle at Nintendo of America to get certain things. It's oh my god, that was Nintendo's always had moments in time where they've been like this. It's just surprising that is an artifact that remains, where they can't be a little bit more nimble. But whatever, their success speaks for itself. So they kind of it works for us,
right.
And it's hard
they
to
got to be
them.
successful being old school, and they're just going to continue to be old school.
Yep. A little bit more for Donkey Kong Bonanza. Again, it's out in 2 days, so it is really all that's been on my mind, Sean. It's like I get the Switch 2 out, and I'm kind of just killing time until Donkey Kong's here. Kazuya Takahashi, who is the director of the game, I believe, mentioned that he played every Donkey Kong game when he got this project. He's like, I went back and played all of them, so there probably is going to be quite a few references here or there in those games. Dan got, I believe, fooled by a reference to Bluster Kong from the TV show, the Crystal Coconut or whatever the fuck it is. And now, I want to say, like, it is a beautiful dream to believe that could happen. What do you think is the most outlandish, like, cameo we could possibly get in this game if we both agree Bluster Kong is not on the table?
Oh, damn it. I was going to say Bluster Kong.
Hey, maybe you don't agree. Show. Yeah. Like, is there any chance? Is there like a 1% chance that Bluster Kong could actually be in that game?
So I do think that while nobody specific to that TV show, including Bluster Kong, are going to be in it, I would not be surprised at all if they like sneak a reference to it in there.
Yeah.
Especially if like with localization, sometimes you need to fill gaps where like a Japanese joke just will not land. And so you need to like replace it with something else that's very similar. Maybe they could do it in a situation like that, or, a reference to like one of the movies or something like that. That I think is going to be the weirdest cameo we see. But other than that, I don't know. I feel like they're going to play it pretty straight.
Yeah.
Like the designs have been updated. They're introducing new characters and everything. I don't think it's going to get that crazy.
Yep, probably not that crazy. Although I hope hope they find ways to have a lot of fun with references and all that other stuff. Yeah, they should just put human Seth Rogen in there, Christian. That's right. Just laughing his way through.
Timestamp this shit.
Yeah.
You forget Seth Rogen.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah. All right. Let's see. Anything else I wanted to mention from Donkey Kong? They're making a movie. We kind of could have figured that. Universal Illumination reteaming with Nintendo on it. They'll just take the characters from the Super Mario Brothers movie, make a Donkey Kong movie. Okay, let me ask you this. Nintendo does seem to be like, hey, no, we're betting on Donkey Kong in a big way. It's our other thing other than Mario right now. So there's going to be the game. There's a theme park with Donkey Kong stuff there now. That's like a huge part of it. It's Mario and then Donkey Kong at the theme park. And then they have this game. Do you think Donkey Kong can like withstand all of this? Like, can it hold up all like enough of its side of the bargain to kind of be equivalent to what Mario's done for Nintendo recently?
Like, is DK big enough to be the IP that they want?
Yeah, or can they make it big enough? I mean, yeah, maybe it's not big enough yet, but does
DK have the juice?
Does it have the juice? That's what I'm asking.
I don't feel like they've gone too far yet with anything announced or any of their plans for him thus far. But I feel like trying to make him more of a thing beyond this might be pushing it a little bit. I think people know Donkey Kong. People of all ages know Donkey Kong.
Yeah.
So it's very easy to put something out there that is Donkey Kong and have people look at it. But I think getting people to care about the IP much more beyond that point, beyond like seeing, oh, hey, that's the monkey from the old video game. Yeah, I like that dude. Or yeah, that's the dude that's on my Wii or whatever. I think they like that. But they try to start getting like secondary DK characters to be bigger than they are or something. That might be where they push it a little too far. I don't think they've hit that point, but I think if they try to, that would be a bridge too far.
Yeah, and Mike in chat, who is just recovering from butt stuff, so he's fine. He's alive. Don't worry, everybody.
Whole day of butt stuff.
He mentions DK Country was huge once upon a time, and it really was. Donkey Kong Country was a massive hit. Donkey Kong Country 2 also sold extremely well. DK Country 3 even sold very well.
Yeah. Even being before my time, I know that because game stores when I grew up still had like DK stuff everywhere.
Yes.
Like the posters, the standees, like the limited edition consoles were still kicking around stuff. Absolutely.
I bet that is a big part of what gives Nintendo the confidence here. Is like they've seen it take over before. Now, obviously the landscape has changed a lot since then, where it's like that was a smaller market back then that they were selling to. You could dominate the gaming industry while reaching a lot fewer people than you would have to reach now. And Donkey Kong also had the benefit of just being more well known at that point because the 80s were just 10 years ago before that at a certain point. So
yes,
it was easy.
Well, I
to
think there's a simplicity, right?
Yeah.
There's simplicity in Donkey Kong that is appealing to people, and I think they can lean on that.
I think that with this marketing power that they do have now with the movie and the theme park and all this, and if the game is really good, I think it's going to just click immediately and do very well, and it's going to have the benefit of being really one of the de facto Switch 2 launch games, which I think it's just going to carry all the way through the holiday and probably be a massive success for them.
Yeah, what is after Bonanza?
Drag X Drive, I think. Which
Drag and Drive, by the way.
Is just Drag
Like
and
drag
Drive,
and
is that how
drop?
they say it? Yeah, Drag and Drop, yeah. But I
Yeah.
mean, I thought there was a cross there.
It is. They have said that it's pronounced Drag and Drive.
Drag and Drive. Okay. Drag and Drop, huh? All right. Interesting.
Yeah, it's because mouse, but it's
Yeah,
also
mouse.
weird that they spelled it that way.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
They can have their fun.
But like the big one after that, like I'm trying to think of what
We have all those
big
games
Nintendo
that,
game
like,
after that would
this
be.
can go into the next topic here in a second. We have all those other games that don't have release dates, right? It's Kirby. Well, Kirby DLC is one.
right.
There is Kirby Air Riders. There is Pokemon Legends ZA, Metroid
ZA,
Prime
yep.
4.
We don't have a date for Metroid still, right?
Still no date for Metroid. 2025
Just
is a date.
sometime this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, of some variety. Yeah.
Yep. Oh yeah, Mario Party is getting its Switch 2 content update, so that'll happen at some point. Well, yeah. Anything else? People in chat are mentioning a bunch of stuff. Kirby is August 28th. Did Kirby get a release date?
Must
Interesting.
have. Multiple people are saying it.
Okay, man. Was that in the Nintendo Today app, or maybe we talked about this and I just forgot? I don't know.
I don't know. I haven't been paying attention. I'm kind of just
Oh.
like, yeah, I'm less excited for that. I'll check it out when I check
And
it
then
out.
Zelda Muso, which is which Hyrule Warriors? What is it
Right.
called? Not Calamity. Something else.
Age of Imprisonment.
Yeah,
is it?
that's right. Age of Imprisonment. Yeah. So they have a bunch of stuff they need to update us on. We'd only have a few dates. Apparently, we have a date for Kirby, August 28th. So I guess that would maybe be the next big one because that's next month. So we'll see how big that game actually is. But that's why people are speculating, and some people are outright saying that there will be a direct before the end of this month. Before this month is over, there will be a direct. Now, what kind of direct? Nobody seems to know exactly. I've not heard anything one way or the other about any direct. I've been kind of busy, not really been looking, but also just haven't heard anything, one way or the other. And, I believe this, though, just because they do got to update us on all this stuff. So what do you think the chances are of us really getting a direct before the end of July after Bonanza's out, which is, obvious at this point. This thing's not going to drop tomorrow.
Right.
And then, before the end of the month, and what do you think will be in there beyond dates for stuff like Metroid Prime 4?
Yeah, let's see. It's the 15th today as we record. Yeah, I think one by the end of July. Let's see. Was there one last month for SGF season?
Was there like a one for just like Mario Kart? Was that in June?
That I think that was before that.
Yeah, it
God,
was
my
probably
brain
May.
is still cooked.
Yeah,
Jeff, I don't
same.
remember anything that happened last week.
Just to give you the dates here. So next week would be through the 25th.
It's the DK Direct. That's right.
Oh yeah.
That's right. Thank you, chat.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Okay, so we did get that. And now DK is going to be out. So kind of like that's a bookend right there. So they kind of do stuff to look forward. The 31st would be a Thursday. So they probably wouldn't do it on a Friday the 1st. So the last week of this month sounds pretty plausible to me.
Sure. Like who was it that was saying direct?
This was Nate. Some other people I think
This
were
was
saying it,
also
and
Nate.
then Nate the Hate kind of confirmed it, and
Right.
he
Look,
had the last thing.
Nate-
So, yeah.
yeah, Nate only says stuff when he knows
When he's
for
sure,
that there is
yeah.
at least a plan
Yep.
for this to happen. Plans change, as we know, as you know, as
Mhm.
stuff you've reported on has changed.
Yep.
But Nate really only brings this stuff up when, he's pretty sure about it. So, yeah, that's what he's saying. And while other people are corroborating, I believe it. I think they don't need to do a direct ASAP, but at the very least by the end of August. So, yeah, if we're getting one by the end of July, I think that makes total sense. So that way they do talk about this is like the plan for the rest of the year. Loosely what things have been, but here is like actual more concrete details. maybe a tease of what early next year looks like.
Yeah, part of the rumors that have been going around is also that Nintendo is kind of like stopping publishers from announcing their own Switch 2 games and being like, no, we're going to take this and make it part of a direct. You know, if that's the case, that's kind of extreme for Nintendo. I don't think they've done a ton of that before. Or at least we haven't heard about that.
That is a win-win though, because
yes,
like
definitely.
a Nintendo Direct absolutely gets more eyes on most publishers' games than just dropping a trailer out of nowhere and trying to like promote on socials and stuff.
Agreed. That's why I was like a little bit like, wait. My understanding is publishers fight to get into a Nintendo Direct because the Nintendo audience shows up for those things, and that's a really easy way to get out ahead with that consumer base. Otherwise, you trying to reach Nintendo gamers on your own is a very difficult thing. So yeah, it was just, I don't fully understand that, but whatever. Maybe Nintendo's being a little bit more aggressive about not letting the Borderlands team say when Borderlands is going to come to Switch 2 or some shit like that.
Right.
But okay, so I think we probably can safely expect a handful, like the next crop of third-party games, because we got all of the launch updated. Here's Hitman, World of Assassination Extended Edition, or however they framed it. We got a bunch of those for the launch window of the Switch 2.
Yeah.
There's probably another crop coming of more recent third-party games, or, you know, even like the Star Wars Outlaws, it was announced but it hasn't come out yet. Probably an update on something like that. I don't know, anything big that you would expect in the crop of third-party games? Because I don't know, not really. I guess maybe Elden Ring,
like unannounced, or
I don't know, not necessarily, because then I'm like, hey, just pull a game out of your ass. I don't know.
Oh, I mean, like, you know, not announced to be on Switch 2 yet.
Oh, sure, yeah, possibly, yes.
Okay, because then, yeah, I mean, I think I wouldn't be surprised at all if what's her name, Sandfall announced Expedition 33 for Switch 2.
Yeah,
like,
that feels like when
the
they
way
could,
that blew up and everything,
yeah,
like that feels right.
Like as soon as
Sooner
they had
or
like
later.
day one of like, oh, this thing's gonna sell, like we have money, we should be rushing to get this thing on Switch 2 before the end of the year. Yeah, that
that feels
about
like
right.
something that both parties would want to happen. Beyond that, I don't really know. The Switch 2 is almost like this weird unknown quantity for us at this point, because most things are on the table. There's not really anything current gen that can't be done on Switch 2 in any way. So I would say, yeah, like Lex says in chat, the Alice RPGs, I could totally see Metaphor getting announced for the thing.
Oh yeah, that's a
even
good point.
Persona 3 Reload. I think Persona 3 is less likely because Metaphor just was such a big hit last year that they, again, is one of those things both parties would want to get on Switch 2 because that's just easy money for both companies. Yeah, maybe other suggestions I see here, like Lies of P. Sure, why not? Like just start getting these, especially PS4 hits, and not specific to the platform, but just like that era of gaming. So many of those missed the Switch 1 because of the weak CPU. And finally, they have enough CPU grunt and a ton of GPU overhead to make all these happen. So many games that we're not even thinking of could just get ported over and get announced tomorrow, and we're just gonna go, yeah, that makes sense. Why not? It hasn't been on a Nintendo platform yet. Why not make that money? You know.
Yep. Baldur's Gate 3 is the one that's popular in chat. The Jedi Survivor games. Yeah, they put those on Xbox One and PS4. They went back and put that second one on there as well. Like that was backported after a long time. Kind of seemingly like they were doing that so it would be ready for the Switch 2.
Right.
So yeah.
And even like, you know, we had that story from the Virtuos, one of the people over there saying, yeah, if there's a Series S version, you should be able to get a Switch version of it. You might have to massage it a little bit if it's a more complicated thing, but you should be able to get it run on Switch too. So yeah, just most things are on the table. Yeah,
those Jedi games though were the ones that like had performance issues for forever on both consoles. So them doing the work to get it back on 1 and 4 really helped it run a lot better on current stuff, and will help it definitely on the Switch too. Okay, so then, you know, last thing here, do they have a new Nintendo game that is unannounced? Maybe not new, maybe because it could be a remake or whatever, but do you think we get 1, 2, 3 games announced with dates from Nintendo, or not even dates, but just like announced out of nowhere for the first time at this Direct?
I don't know. I think you've been saying for a bit now that, like, if you had to predict, you would say that sort of like a second tier, second string Nintendo game could still be announced as a bit of a surprise
Yeah, maybe.
for
Yes.
between now and the end of the year. And I think that makes sense. Something that maybe on the tier of like a Metroid or something, not necessarily a big thing that people have been clamoring for, like the next big Star Fox or, a new F-Zero game, or maybe something like an F-Zero game, but something of that tier I could absolutely see. We did already get the Splatoon, I see in chat, Splatoon Raiders got announced. Maybe they talk more about that because that's going to be a big one in Japan, especially presumably because of how much they love Splatoon over there. And so I could see them pushing that to that audience, and then also pushing because that's a survival game. Them trying to push that angle in the West. Maybe that's the one, and then maybe we sort of have our slate for the rest of the year already, and we don't even know it.
Yep.
It's just like a little bit lighter, but not much lighter than the Switch One's first year, right?
Yep. Yeah. I mean, honestly, if DK hits real hard and they have Mario Kart, and then it just is going to have better third party support than the Switch One had kind of ever. But especially through its first year. Because, Elden Ring is going to drop on this thing, and Final Fantasy VII is going to be on there. So they're going to have like stuff like that ready to go for that Nintendo audience that maybe missed those games or whatever, or people who are looking for another way to play. So it'll feel robust in some other ways. And I think that is probably where we're going to come out of this direct, where it's like we'll get tidbits about the Nintendo lineup, and then there's going to be a lot of third-party stuff. So I don't think it'll be a partner direct, but still, we'll see.
And also, just while we're on the topic of directs and stuff, I did see people chattering a little bit about the Pokemon Presents and if
that's next week.
They should expect anything that. Yeah, it'll air before the next Nintendogs. So I thought I'd bring it up now because it airs that Tuesday morning at MC time, like usual. The summer Pokemon Presents, when they do one, they don't do one every year. It's always just the updates direct. It's like for most people listening to my voice right now, this is the one you skip because it's just like, here's even more about what's coming from the next game here. And then everything else is just like, and here's what the next monthly challenges are for Go and Unite and Masters and all that stuff. I would not expect suddenly the Black and White remake gets announced out of nowhere. I would love to be proven wrong because I've been nothing but wrong on this whole Black and White saga so far. Man, those cards are coming out and I still don't know why they're coming out. It's such a weird thing to be happening anyways. But yeah, we're probably going to get updates on ZA, that thing. They're going to show basically another trailer of that, and you can watch it at a more reasonable time.
There you go. Yeah, and if something does happen, you'll hear about it on Game S. Well, no, that'll be the Bombcast day. You'll hear about it on Bombcast, and then we'll talk about it on Last of the Nintendogs. Okay. Right. Yeah, I think those are the big topics I wanted to talk about. I don't know. We have the rundown here. Anything else, Sean, that you want to mention before maybe we take a break and see what the super chats want to talk about?
Did you want to hit on the game key cards thing at all, or do you have
Nintendo was gauging players in Japan about what they even know about game key cards and what they think of them and how it affects their purchasing decisions. I think there's probably a little bit of something to this of Nintendo trying to spot or trying to understand maybe some internal trends that they've seen about the way people are buying games. But also, I think this is probably something they might have asked no matter what. Maybe they're just curious about this sort of thing and it's a new product and they want to see what people think. Nintendo does surveys all the time. I don't know. How do you read it?
I read it as, a similar thing where this is a new thing for them. They're trying to see, okay, was this sort of experiment that we're doing successful? I do think the game key cards thing are weird.
It's weird.
It's another one of those things where I'm not sure I'm as angry as some other people are, but I
fully understand why people have their weirdness about it, though.
Right, exactly. Because this is the thing I think a lot of people don't want to hear. A lot of people who talk about, I need the game to be on the cartridge or on the disc, that is coming from a little bit of a place of paranoia about like servers getting shut down or anything like that.
Yeah.
we even talked about this recently where I don't love digital on consoles because I know someday the server is getting shut off. But at the same time, it's so far removed that I'm not worried about it. For me, I still buy physical copies too. And for me, physical copies are simply about the ownership of my license for the game. And a game key card does still give you that because you can still then sell it to someone else as if it were any other physical game, unlike a code in a box, which is still a thing this generation, and that needs to go the hell away because that's
stupid.
well, I mean, it's just wasteful.
It's wasteful.
It is stupid. It's these companies trying to get shelf space from the moms shopping at Walmart or whatever. So for me, game key cards, they're fine. I do wish that these games were on the cartridge. I think that's the bigger story of game key cards that many people aren't talking about as much. More of that Nintendo strong arming we were talking about earlier in the show of them saying, it's like the N64 days or something. Buy our expensive ass cartridges. You will buy the 64 gigabyte and you'll like it, or take this inferior product. And most people are going with the inferior product. And maybe that's in part why they're doing a survey to see, was this backfiring on us? Are people like so pissed about it that they're mad at us? I don't know. It's a weird situation for sure.
Yeah, I do wonder if they think it's breaking containment. If it's getting like that weirdness, if that weirdness spreads to the general consumer, that is something that could hurt Nintendo. Because I definitely know, like, I'm not mad about this, but if I were in the mood to have a physical version of a game, because it's like a game I really like and I do want to display it or something, I would never buy a game key card. I just would never do it. I'm so stupid because it doesn't affect how I would play the game, but I would just, something about it feels like I don't even want this thing.
It's the knowledge of like the security of it.
Yeah.
Where like you know that this thing you're holding contains the game, is not access to the game. Which is why, again, just because I'm not super, concerned about it, doesn't mean that it shouldn't be a concern and that people shouldn't be talking about it. Because it is, like I said, a weird thing. It's just, it's the most Nintendo way possible to try to quote unquote solve this problem, I think. And while they certainly could have gone worse routes, because again, at least you do still have ownership over the game in that way. It's still not the ideal solution, I think.
All right, let's go ahead and take a break. We'll come back. We'll do super chats after that. Let's get to it right now.
Break. All right.
Okay, let's see. I read these, right? Do you read these? Who reads these?
You read these.
You read these, and I'll read the mailbag.
Because I'm Jeff tonight.
You're Jeff tonight, yes.
Okay.
I don't think I've ever hosted Nintendogs. Maybe I have, but
no.
I don't think so.
I don't remember.
I think you've done it once.
Maybe once.
I sometimes host it, but yeah. Okay, is the first one here Big Jimbo Ryan?
Let me take a look. Yes.
It is the first one on the thing, so.
Yes. Then I'm good to read.
Okay.
All right. Bring it back.
I'm going to bring it back.
Cool.
All right, Woof Woof. Last of the Nintendogs. We're getting back into it. Turbo Sean's got the super chats. Let's read those, please.
That's right. First up here from Big Jimbo Ryan, in parentheses, would never disappoint fans. Video idea. Mike in Vegas with $50. Bet 25 black and 25 red. You never lose money this way. Keep going all day to see how long it takes for them to ban you.
Yeah, I want to see Mike get beaten up by Vegas muscle for sure. Yeah.
Always take financial advice from Big Jimbo Ryan, by the way.
Oh yeah, knows what he's doing.
Simon from Saskatchewan. Did you read Xbox's Matt Turnbull's job advice? Is this the turn to AI when you're sad thing?
Oh yeah, I think that's what it was. Yeah. It just sucks to be reminded that there are people out there that think that way, and that they have positions of power to say shit like this. Yeah, go to hell.
Exactly. Another one from Simon. In the itchy and scratchy CD-ROM, is there a way to get out of the dungeon without using the wizard's key? What's a game level you got stuck on as a kid?
When I was first like learning how to, like, I played Legend of Zelda as a kid, like a 5-year-old, 6-year-old, but I didn't really understand it. My older brother was playing it. And I was like, okay, yeah, Zelda seems cool, but I'm a Mario guy. And then I got Link's Awakening from the kid that stole it from the teacher's assistant, and he handed it to me to try to get me in trouble, and I didn't realize it, so I took it home and played it. It was like free gift, sweet. And I was like 9, 10, 11 in that age range, and for the first, I don't know, it felt like forever, but it was probably like a month in reality, but it felt like forever. So it was like, felt like for years. I was stuck on the second dungeon boss because I'm hitting it with the sword and nothing's happening, and I just couldn't process that the game wanted me to do something else other than attack the enemy with my weapon. That's how all video games had really worked for me at this point. Even if it was like a special weapon, I'm using a weapon to attack them. I did not, like, eventually it clicked. I like went back on a road trip, a family road trip when I was probably 10 going into 11. And I was like, oh, I got this weapon to pick stuff up, or this, item. Let me just try that. And I tried it on the boss and threw him at the wall, and he cracked. I'm like, oh my God, the game is like trying to tell me, use the thing you just got. And I felt like that was an awakening to all of video games at a certain point. So yeah, I was stuck on that for quite some time. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have a story that interesting because I play a lot of RPGs, so it usually wasn't a level. It was just like a boss that I couldn't overcome. A big one was the Mega Man Battle Network games actually do have some really tough bosses in them. And Battle Network 3, the final boss, kicked my ass for like days and days. And I wasn't used to having to spend like a weekend plus on a single point a game at that point. So finally overcoming that and beating that boss fight was definitely felt like a victory there.
Yeah, there's probably a lot like that for me as well.
Yeah. And of course, the hat trick from Simon, last one. Each of you please rank from best to worst. Hang on. I'm trying to like pick a. Okay. Each of you please rank from best to worst. Mega Man is mid. Brazil soccer is best in South America. Episode 9 is a masterpiece. Andor was unnecessary. Odyssey equals overrated. Now that I've said that out loud, I think this is rank the hot take.
Yeah, I think like just rank like how much you can bear it. It's kind of how I'm feeling. So best, like
okay. So Mega Man is mid. Brazil is best in South America at soccer. Episode 9 is a masterpiece. Andor is unnecessary. Odyssey is overrated.
Okay, so I have mine. Mega Man is mid, is the best. I can handle that one. Brazil soccer is best in South America. It goes next. Then let's see here. Odyssey equals overrated is the third worst, basically, is how we're going.
Oh, okay, in the middle. Okay.
And then Andor was unnecessary is the second worst. And then the absolute worst is episode 9 is a masterpiece. That is an abomination. I have visceral hate in my body for several of the people responsible for that movie. No, it is a masterpiece. Get out of here. So
this also sounds like a crime. Yeah. All this question is just bad.
Yes.
Overall, it's all for time for last for me. Thank you.
Look, Simon gives us so much. I will answer it. I've never talked to you about episode 9 this much. Okay, this is interesting because I don't have a hatred for it like you do. I walked out of episode 9 feeling the same way that I did about Michael Bay Transformers movies. I'm like, as a Star Wars movie, that was super disappointing. As a summer blockbuster, I thought it was kind of fun though, like visually and everything.
I think honestly, I think I probably have before said it was like a Transformers movie. I think that's exactly what it was. Yes. And it just, for me, it was like, this wasted my entire life is what it feels like. I'm just like, I'm so into these movies. I think about them all the time. And this is your answer. Really? Palpatine is granddad? Get the fuck out of here. Babu Frick rules.
So for me, I guess it would go, I've not, just because I still have not watched Andor because I don't watch TV. That one's at the top just because I don't have context. After that is Brazil soccer. I don't care about soccer. I'll go that one's next. Whatever. Episode 9 goes after that in the middle. Mega Man is mid. I take great umbrage with. And then, yeah, the worst one is Odyssey is overrated. Odyssey is one of the greatest. I'm assuming Super Mario Odyssey. That's one of the greatest games of all time. You put some respect on that name.
It's fantastic.
Damn it. Yeah. Thank you, Simon. From Stinky,
Mike, thank you as well. He appreciates that you took a stand that he likely would have as well.
I do it for Mike. I do it all for Mike. From Stinky, hyped for the Outer Wilds playthrough, number 3 on top 100.
Yeah, that's right. Mike's got to play that because I believe he's playing that for the punishment because Dan beat us in Tony Hawk.
All right.
And I got to do everything or nothing. And I'm waiting for Steam is going to Valve is going to send me a replacement Steam Deck. So waiting to get that and I'll play it on there.
That's a good game, Jeff.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
I like that one a lot.
Yeah.
Tuber, Simon woke up and chose violence. It felt like Mike was working his way out of Nintendo jail, but then Gang Bang Orangutan happened. R.I.P. Mike's colon.
Now you can't possibly know that the people at Nintendo don't appreciate Orangutan Gangbang. Maybe they love it.
I don't like the implication here that Mike's colon and everything that's happening to it is because of Nintendo jail. Also from Tuber, if Reggie had stayed with Nintendo, do you think his feud with Hungry Box would have escalated to mud wrestling by now? I miss Reggie and Iwata. I do too.
Yeah, I do too. He said some nice things about Iwata the other day on the 10th anniversary of Iwata's death. So, Yep, I definitely felt that.
We did not deserve Iwata. We didn't know that until far, far too long after his passing.
Yep, exactly.
Next up from El Grug. Always good to see Mr. Turbo, aka Sean, on the show. My condolences to Mike for having his butthole implode on itself. Hope he gets a new one soon.
Yeah, I mean, listen, butt transplants have come a long way, and our boy needs one, so let's help him out, everybody.
From Jason Fulton, did Joy Z order the code red on Mike? In a post Donkey Kong orangutan gangbang world, do you look at Mike differently now?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Just the fact that he immediately went to it, and that it worked out so well for him. Yeah, look at him differently.
It's the kind of thing I expected out of you, Jeff. I'm going to be real here. I would expect you to go to that.
As soon as he said it, I'm like, well, this is going to be the whole show now. This is what we're focused on at this point. Yeah, definitely.
On the off chance anyone missed Decides last week, please go back and listen to it. It was so funny.
Yeah. I look at him differently because of this and not because of the secret thing that he told me and Dan that we're not allowed to ever tell anyone. That I was like, that's just funny, Mike, but he definitely can't tell anyone.
I already told people. It's a blackface thing.
It's not anything racially coded.
Damn it.
Okay. From Juniper Cell. Hey guys, longtime listener from London, finally listening live as I come back from the airport. I like it when Mike says Death Triangle.
Yeah, he was doing some voice today, and I wanted him to combine it with the Death Triangle voice, but I forgot to ask him. Yeah, Death Triangle voice, one of my favorite Mike bits. It's a
good Mike bit. Yeah.
It's a good Mike bit for sure.
Anytime he needs to speak with a British accent, it's always just mumbling into Death Triangle.
Yeah, it's perfect. Have safe travels, Juniper Cell.
Absolutely. The Uncharted Wolf. Sean, I wanted to play through all the Splatoon games finally, but my Wii U gamepad for one is broken. Are there other good control methods for it? There sure is, the Uncharted Wolf. Let me tell you, you can click on that thing if you play it on a personal computer. Wouldn't you know it, Jeff? It's a great way to control that game.
Man, I bet that feels real nice.
Yeah. I think there's a hacky way if you want to do it on the Wii U to use a pro controller. Some like Player 2 shenanigans with that, as I recall. But otherwise, yeah. Wolf, I think you have a Steam Deck lying around. Fire up Simu. You'll be fine.
Yep. That sounds like a good time.
It runs well on there. Connell Wood. Please, no Randy Pitchford in the direct. Connell Wood, I got some bad news for you. That's not off the table anymore.
Yeah, that definitely. Borderlands is probably a big game that Nintendo would be happy to rep, and he would definitely show up in that. So we'll see.
From Uriel Delgado, a lot of 1As, and then Superman was good.
Yeah, I love the First Amendment as well. It's one of my favorite amendments. I don't know what this is. I know I get Superman was good is likely a reference to a recent feature film, but I don't know what 1A means.
As far as I know, Uriel is from somewhere in Europe, so it might be a reference we don't know about.
That sounds likely.
Chris Son is here. Chris Pratt is a member for 1 month at the Lincoln tier, sending good vibes
Thank
to
you, Chris
Milton's
Pratt.
bottom hole.
We're all worried about Milton's bottom hole. Absolutely.
And then last one here is from Chris Pratt, who said, "Can I say B asterisk 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 in super chats?" And apparently, no, you cannot. I'm sorry to say,
even Chris
Son.
Pratt can't say that in super chats. Weird.
What could it be?
Yeah,
B and it's 4 letters.
You know what,
Who knows?
Chris Pratt? I bet just keep trying to do the higher tiers of super chats, and eventually the swearing. I think the swearing filter will turn off. All right, so just keep at it. We'll see what happens.
Perfect. That is going to do it for super chats for now, Jeff.
Excellent. All right. We are going to take another break. When we come back, we're going to get into the mailbag. I'm going to have Sean chase down the mailman, which is, yeah, there he goes. Something that's usually my job, but we got a new dog in town. We'll get back into that right after these messages.
Nothing
right.
beat a two-jet. Oh, never mind. Yeah, you're gonna back into it. What are you gonna do? You wanna take a break? Oh, we don't have
I'm
Mike
good.
here. He has to go to the bathroom 7 times a podcast. So.
I've been drinking a lot of water, maybe later, but for now, I'm good.
Christian, what is 1A,
right.
1A, 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 1A? Do you know?
I had no idea.
Okay.
Oh, I might have been a soccer thing or
No
something. But I guess
idea.
not.
Yeah,
Jeff,
yes.
as usual, this is a bigger one. If it runs long, feel free to cut it off, and we'll put the rest of them in the next one.
Okay. Yeah, wow, it's a lot. Yeah, well, some of these are crossed off already. These must be older ones. Okay. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. All right, I'm ready to get into it. You guys good?
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, those are old ones. I'll get rid of those.
Yeah, no worries. Okay, let's do it. All right, we are back. More super chats are coming in. We'll get to all of those before we are finished this evening. For now, though, I need someone to go grab me the mailbag. So the mailman's over there. Turbo Sean, chase him down. Get him. Oh no. Oh, okay. I think you did a good job. We got him. That means we got your letters as well, everybody. It's not normally how mail works. You don't have to chase down the mailman. He'll just bring it to you. But on this show, that's how we do things.
We're also in USPS jail, as it turns out. I think that may or may not be federal jail,
Yeah,
so we'll see how that pans out for
That's
the
hard
Nintendogs.
time jail, too. That's rough stuff. Tommy Pencils writes in, "Today is my birthday. I've taken this whole week off. I have just finished all of my homework for the month, only have finals next week. I have no adult responsibilities until next Monday. Gonna have a Colorado week.
Let's
DK
fucking
should
go.
be pretty fun." Okay, Tommy Pencils is going deep diving, and we'll see him again one day. Good luck, Tommy Pencils.
We'll see you on the other side, Tommy. Godspeed.
That's impressive stuff. Yeah, enjoy it though. If you earned it, go enjoy it.
Absolutely.
And
Hey.
yeah, I think DK should be fun.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, happy birthday. Screaming Madden says, "Hello, Mike. Redefined Banana Slamma in the DK draft. Minotti and Jeff made Lanky Kong his Niles Crane Grubb. This may be a silly question, but do you eat more of a certain food before a game releases depending on a game? I've eaten plenty of bananas lately as I wait for Bonanza. I think I probably do this a little bit. Like, not
Jeff,
a ton,
I've
but
been
yeah, go ahead.
I've been eting so many bananas.
I've been eating quite a few bananas. I eat a lot of bananas in general, but I was definitely like, we're out of bananas. We need more bananas. So I think I do this, and it's just like I'm in the mood for this game, and this banana reminds me of it. I don't know.
Yeah, it's not necessarily like it's rare that like food is like so intertwined with the game.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, I have the game on the brain. The food is also on the brain. But one that I mentioned this to you when we were out in LA and getting beers, but like Sapporo, like when a new Persona game comes out, I'm in such a weeb ass mood that I need to get some of that to drink like all week, even month long. That's my drink of choice. But yeah, Other than that, bananas for DK, as it turns out.
Yep. People in chat are pointing out pizza for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Of course, that's definitely happened to me before. And then let's see here. Side Bottomer Game says, I've been eating monkeys. So they're really excited for Donkey Kong. They got quite an appetite over there. Low Rule writes in, predict if Donkey Kong Bonanza will be your Nintendo Game of the Year when it's all said and done. It's like,
not a chance in hell.
What do you got? Oh, not Pokemon. What would it be?
Prime 4 is coming out this year.
Yeah.
It would have to take that game would have, assuming it comes out this year. Dan could be right. I don't think he is, but it should be coming out this year. Unless that game.
Sorry, I dropped the controller. Don't worry about it.
Unless that game somehow absolutely shits the bed, I don't see how Prime 4, a game I've been waiting fucking almost 2 decades for. There's no way that isn't my number one.
I'm hopeful for Prime 4. So with the chances here that Donkey Kong Bonanza will be my Nintendo Game of the Year, there's a chance. Again, it sounds promising from the previews. If Prime 4 reviews just as well, I bet I end up on the Prime 4 side of things as well when it's all said and done. Jamie H. Christmas Eve writes in, while I think all of these ports are coming eventually, which do you think is most likely out of the following to show up at the next Direct? We talked about some of these a little bit. Expedition 33, Blueprints, Metaphor ReFantazio, Persona 3 Reload, or Baldur's Gate 3. I think the most likely probably is Metaphor, because Sega / Atlas would be able to get a dev kit. It might be that simple. I think Baldur's Gate 3's team probably could get a dev kit, but not necessarily.
Yes. Well, also think about, I don't know, something about the vibes of CD Projekt being super tied into the launch of the Switch 2 makes me just think that Larian could get one as well ahead of time.
Maybe.
And have Baldur's Gate ready to go, because that's also the oldest out of all these games. Gut reaction would have been Metaphor, because that was a big game from last year. The other ones are from this year, but Baldur's Gate goes even further back. So I feel like that's most likely out of all of them.
I think all things being even, that being if all these developers are able to get a dev kit at the same time, they've had one for a while, I think I probably would go with Baldur's Gate 3. And then I would go with Expedition 33, because I think that's something that gets expedited because it's so hot right now that I think everyone involved, if they could, would want to get it on Switch 2. I think that one just comes down to, has that team been able to get a Switch 2 dev kit with enough time to announce something for early next year or later this year? Who knows? Okay, let's see here. Ali Miracle writes in, all this talk about lore and no one brings up the Kong War. I hate this. Is that from the show as well? I've only ever seen the show very late at night on Dan's streams.
Not to my knowledge. I feel like that would be a reference to isn't one of the characters a soldier in the
Funky Kong wears fatigues? Yeah.
Right, Funky Kong. So it's just in Pokemon, you even know this Gen 1, Lieutenant Surge.
Right.
Was he a lieutenant of?
Mm-hmm.
That implies that there is an army in the Pokemon world. What the hell military fought in a Pokemon war?
Yeah, what other military were they fighting as well? Yeah. An army of Pokemon, probably. All right, let's see here. Next question. Derek. I grew up playing Tony Hawk on GameCube. I used the analog stick and am very disappointed that I can't use the GameCube controller with the correct buttons, doing the correct things on the new one, and have even had difficulty adjusting to a different controller. I never even realized other people played those games with the D-pad until recently. Anyway, what's something similar in gaming that you did or still do that you didn't realize it wasn't the popular method of playing a game? Well, here's the thing. It sounds like your way actually is the popular way, and my way is the old man way.
I'll be honest, Jeff, until I talked to you guys, I had no idea people played those games with D-pad.
Yeah.
Just because, the second you said it, I'm like, oh, right, because you probably just played on a PlayStation controller.
Yes.
So it was not
made
guaranteed
for the
that
PlayStation controller. It was so made for the PlayStation controller that even
and those were not guaranteed to have analog sticks, so they had to have a D-pad option at the very least. Yeah, it just never, because I was also thinking about this more earlier today. I think it's because people my age also might like, first of all, like Underground, you get off the board, you move a character around 3D space. That makes sense. But then also, I definitely think of skateboarding as sort of like a vehicle.
Yeah.
And people definitely play racing games with D-pad, especially if you played them on the Saturn or whatever.
Yes.
But like, to me, any vehicle game you control with an analog stick. So I think
it makes a ton of sense. Yeah.
Yeah. Once we had analog sticks as standard, I just think that became the default that people used.
Yeah, and it's like I think that one was Tony Hawk's easy for me to understand, like how we ended up here. Like I think if you just look at that game in a vacuum, you go analog sticks should just work fine. You kind of have to know that it was like it came from this place of we are very much designing these controls around what we have here on this PlayStation controller, and we're going to make it perfect for this, and that's what they did. So if you played since then, it's D-pad, and then if you kind of hopped on anytime later and weren't in that very specific environment, there's no reason to assume the D-pad is the way to play it. But you know, again,
Exactly.
and the analog controls have been fine for that game. They really have been. But for me, I'm so used to the D-pad. Anything else would be weird.
I get that, yeah, but it does feel really satisfying, like doing a manual by like flicking the stick and stuff. It is like, it's a cool feeling.
Lenny Cool Dick Denver writes in, "Hey Mike, Mom, can you record my farts for the internet, Minotti? And Jeff, how does OBS work? Grubb, it fucking doesn't. With Jan mentioning him going to PAX West and Dan saying they're going to the Gathering of the Chuggalos and immediately forgetting, what is your ideal travel destination for future Giant Bomb content? If Grubb gets his Fago freak on, a trip to Disney Sea for Minotti seems fair." Yeah, I think Mike's answer probably would be Disney Sea. Which which I still want to do as a trip.
Disney trip you can take.
Of course, just the flights to Japan would be rough.
Oh, is that fair? Mike gets to go to Mike gets to go to Disney every single damn time.
Yeah,
Chef never goes to the Juggalo. That's not fair.
Listen, maybe I'd rather go with him to Disney. Who could say?
Traitor.
I know. My ideal travel location probably would be, it would probably just be Japan. Honestly.
Oh yeah.
I'm sure we mentioned it, but we were there at SGF in LA, and we had some people from Japan come hang out with us for GB at night, and Mark McDonald, who's lived in Japan for forever now, 8-4 and all that. He was at 8-4, and now he's at Enhance. He was just like, you guys should just come out to Japan. We will set up like an itinerary for you. We'll take care of you. Every Japanese publisher has multiple people dedicated to like showing Americans around. Like that's their like not just their job, but like they're there because that's something they can do. And we know all those people. And I'm just like, okay, this sounds like something that is like more possible than I ever really thought about it. Because I joined in a time where game media companies were not sending people to Japan anymore. That was something that happened like just before I got in the business. And so I've never been. I've been to the airports in Japan when I was on my way to like Singapore and stuff like that for industry events when I was at GamesBeat, but I've never been to Japan. So I think like one of the things we want to do is make a big push of like, hey, if we can grow our business and justify things, one of the incentives will be we will do 2-3 weeks worth of content in Japan, and we'll try to do some shows out there, but we'll also try to bring a ton of stuff back. So yeah, that's what I'm thinking a lot about right now.
Yeah, and TGS is hot now. You
TGS
justifies that.
Yeah, it's content. I have now edited multiple Japan travel logs for Giant Bomb, and I really would like to go to Japan at some point, Jeff.
Yep, I watched those and I'm like, shit, well, how have I never been able to make one of these happen? So it's time.
Yeah.
All right, let's see here. I have lost my place. There we are. The Uncharted Wolf writes in, "Hey, Medium Dog and Big Dog. I've been thinking a lot about the way you guys play and talk about certain games versus how I play those games. Specifically when talking about Tony Hawk, Hitman, and Hades. I really love all three of these games, but I feel like I play them wrong. The moment I finish the objective, I'm done. Beating Hades, killing the target in Hitman once, or completing all the challenges in Tony Hawk. I hear you guys always talk about running through these games all the time for hundreds of hours, and it leads you to loving them substantially more than I usually do. Is there something wrong with me, or is the way we play games different, and I shouldn't worry about multiple playthroughs if I don't want to? Definitely don't worry about it if you don't want to. Are there games that like get you in that way? Because there are people I know, Sean, who are like they play a game and they just get to the credits and they're done. They're on to the next game. And I don't. That's
me.
a completely reasonable way to consume games. For me, it's like I do come to games looking for a little bit of that playground. I've talked about how like on NES, rarely ever beat a game. It was we're gonna go in there and play around, and maybe I'll get to the credits, but I'm not really even thinking about that. I'm just thinking about let's have fun in this game, and I'll get through a level or whatever. Maybe I'll do the next level, and eventually I find myself at the end. But it was just kind of playing around. So for something like Hitman or Tony Hawk, the developer has laid before me all these mechanics that I can interact with, and then I can play with them like a toy, or I could set challenges for myself, whether that's like trying to get a higher score in Tony Hawk than I've ever gotten before, or maybe there's a leaderboard, something like that, and I can make it semi-competitive. Or Hitman, it is like almost a performance of like, how can I use these systems against these other systems and really learn them and play them like an instrument almost. So that's where I'm getting the joy from. But a lot of people just get the joy from the sense of accomplishment of beating the game. And there's no difference there other than we just have different methods of getting to the same place of enjoying things.
Yeah, there's no wrong way to play a game, no wrong way to enjoy things. And I'm that way that you talked about, where I play a game, I'm done with the game. I rarely replay games. I even some of my favorite games of all time, like Breath of the Wild is in my top 10. I've only done one full playthrough of that game, and it's been almost a decade since it came out. And like I've dabbled in it a little bit. I went back for the DLC, and then I like started up a new playthrough and just petered out. I just usually don't play games that way. It needs to be something more arcadey for me, like keep coming back in that way. Either something that lends itself to speed running, like Mario 64, or something that is single sitting games, like Metroid games become. Like I love Crazy Taxi because I can just do a few runs over the course of an hour. That's just how I play games.
Yeah, I think like if like Uncharted Wolf here, if you go into something like Hitman and you just like I do the kill and that's how I want to enjoy this game, and now I've moved on, and now oh no, I don't like this game as much as Jeff does. No, you don't derive the same thing from games that I do, and one is not better than the other. It's just like I don't try to force it. Like it's not if it's not just happening naturally, it's because that's just not what you want from games, and that's totally fine.
Yeah.
Beefhammer writes in, Woof Woof, my dogs. Why is there no music genre simply known as fits on the Tony Hawk Pro Skater soundtrack? Playing 3+4 and even the newer songs are working for me with no nostalgia. I need a brand new game just for more music to skate to, and also because I really like the new maps. Yeah, I mean, it's been great for that. They should do more. They should let Iron Galaxy just make a 5+6 and just make a whole new game that way.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think there's got to be like an idea of like skater music. I bet there is a little bit of a genre out there, but it's not like a mainstream genre where when you turn on Spotify, you could just find that pretty easily. But I definitely understand what this is getting at.
There's definitely genres you associate with it. I think like punk, and then a little bit later pop punk, and like early 2000s rap and stuff. I know I'm kind of just describing the Tony Hawk soundtrack, but I think even if you listen to music that is not in those games but are in those genres, maybe if it's something you never listened to but is otherwise popular, I think you'll get the same effect there.
Yep. All right, so let's see here. Blazin Noah says, Blazin Noah says, what is your favorite stage from Donkey Kong Country? I like the one where the snow starts coming down really, really hard and it's almost impossible to see what's going on. Oh, just that effect. Call. It was just like cozy in a way. Because again, I was playing the game right around when it was coming out, which I think was like November-ish time. I was playing Thanksgiving, and it just was like the house was warm, smelled great from food. This awesome level with all the really great rendering effects just looked fantastic, and it just, I don't know, it transported me. So yeah, that's definitely my favorite.
Yeah, if we're just saying from like the franchise in general.
Yeah, franchise in general.
In Returns, I do love the silhouette stages.
Oh,
like
yeah,
the first time one of those came up, that was like, I was like, oh, what a crazy idea for this. I was watching the beta 64 video on Donkey Kong Country Returns, and which, by the way, great video. He always does good stuff. But just thinking about that game and how they did do some clever creative stuff, even if, I think people get hung up on the art style and stuff and the music sometimes. But otherwise, whatever stage it was that had a quack ambience.
Yep. All right. Always Be Clothing says, Jeff, you were going to make a top 20 list of N64 games. I should do that. Where would Wave Race 64 end up? It would definitely be in the top 5. Because Mario 64 is number 1. And then I probably would very quickly get to like the trifecta of the sports games of 1080, Wave Race, and Excite Bike. I think they can kind of take each other's place on any given day, but I think the majority of the days, or a plurality of the days, would probably be Wave Race, just over 1080. But those can go back and forth a lot. So Wave Race could easily be 3rd or 4th. Zelda's going to be in there somewhere.
I was going to say, are you one of those people where Ocarina would be too? Or is it like
I don't know if it necessarily would be 2, but it would definitely be in the top 5 with these 4 games. Excite Bike, 1080, Wave Race, and Zelda. So I think Excite Bike would probably be 5, although, God, I love that game. There's a bunch of other... Blast Core is in the top 10. That's a game I've been playing a lot recently.
Oh, sure.
007. The rare games would probably round out the top 10. That's how it would go.
Yeah.
James Pies says, what's the best part of getting a brand spanking new Nintendo Switch 2? Clearing my Switch 1 backlog, of course. I am finally getting around to Astral Chain from Platinum Games and think it's a ton of fun. Have either of you played it, or do you think we'll ever get a sequel? I've not played it. I've been told not to play it because it's about cops.
It is about cops, and I'm not sure you'd like it either, because personally, I think it's one of Platinum's weaker games. I did not love Astral Chain. Maybe part of that was a particularly attractive game on the Switch 1, and that and some performance dips did detract from my experience. I think that might have been the one that ran at 30 as well, which was weird for a Platinum game. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's all right. I think it's like maybe a 7 out of 10 for me. I didn't love it all that much myself. I love the designs in it though. I think that the art style with like the splashes of like bright light neon effects and everything with like the monsters you control basically. I kind of dig that. I would like to see them do something else like in that world or something.
Yeah, I think that's what happened is I think I saw someone streaming it, and I'm going to be honest. I don't know if they were using a Nintendo product to play that thing when I was watching them stream it, and it looked really cool. It had a really good look to it. I was like, this is what Astral Chain is? What the fuck? I don't, it was just like the neon splash that you were talking about. That was like, that looks...
The art direction is very good. It just didn't
friggin' cool.
Great.
Yeah, so I was like, how am I seeing a game where it's like, I see this thing, I'm like, I have no idea what it is, and I'm like, oh, it's Astral Chain, the game I never really looked into all that much. But I don't think they're going to make a sequel. I just don't think they're going to... Like, Platinum's in such a weird spot. Who else would take up the torch there if not Platinum Games? Or how would Nintendo get Platinum Games to sort of like come back around and do that? It just doesn't seem like it's in the cards anymore.
Right. It feels like if Platinum continues to do things for the foreseeable future here, probably would be like a partnership with Nintendo or Square or someone to do another thing like that. So maybe it could be Astral Chain, but who knows? Or like obviously it would be Bayonetta beyond that, but yeah.
Right, exactly. Brogan95 and Christian, if we need to take a break, holler at me. Just let me know and we'll do it. Brogan95 says, with Dan in his RPG arc and Mike in his Soulsborne arc, when do you think Jeff's Red Dead Redemption 2 arc will begin?
When he's dead. That's when.
Never. Yeah, when we're Weekend at Bernie's-ing him.
Oh, that's a good idea. That would be great content. I definitely tried it again because there was during one of our marathons at some point, someone donated a lot for me to play it again. And it was like immediately right back into all the things that frustrated me about it. Well, it was not all the things, but specific things like trying to solve a mission in my own way in the game being like, no, we're not going to let you play. Game over.
Yeah, that was Extra Life one year, right?
Yeah, I
there
think
for
that sounds right. I
Yeah.
hated that. I just.
I hated too, just watching it.
I
I don't like that game either, Jeff.
Yeah, and I think no one wants to see me play that game because I would just be whiny throughout. Now, there is a way. I bet if I modded the fuck out of the PC version of that game, I bet I would have a real good time. And maybe I should do that. That's probably how I get back around to that.
But hey, you know, kind of getting back to what we talked about with Wolf, sometimes like people have different experiences with games. Sometimes the game is not conducive to people having different experiences, and that's where we have our issues.
Mm-hmm.
I hate saying this, but you do realize that the thing you complain about are crazy. Like you get mad because you can't kill like the main protagonist or some dumb shit.
Well,
like
no. Let's be clear. I'm not mad. I just think it's a bad game. Like I think no
game lets you do that. No game lets you like kill a quest.
Well, okay, but that's not that's not the specific thing I'm talking. I'm like, it wouldn't let me go 10 feet off the path. Like that's what I'm complaining about. It wouldn't let me it wouldn't let me do a pincer attack because I'm like, oh, I see one of my cowboys over there or doing something over there. I'll come from this angle, and the game's like, no, you're trying to abandon the mission, and I think that's really restrictive and bad. That's not the only thing I think is bad about that game, but
I remember that stream because that stream was like you for like 30 minutes trying to kill the main like guy of the quest.
Yeah, but that was me being a little shit. That's not my complaint about the game.
Okay, that's why I remember. That's why I was just brought it up.
You're
it makes sense what you said.
But you're not
crazy now that you explained it.
I don't want to completely disregard it though, because some of the things I complain about are crazy. But that's because I do have a very specific way of enjoying games, and I thought Red Dead Redemption 2 was going to be sort of more along those lines. To me, it was like making a lot of promises of, we're gonna like let you greet anyone, and the way you greet them, like it's gonna change things. It's like, no, none of that stuff is really there. There's a lot of stuff on the surface that makes it feel interactable, and then none of those interactions really lead to anything the way like a Hitman does. And so I would just play more Hitman and less of this, and I'm perfectly fine with that.
Jeff, remember when we went on the Universal Studios tour and just how incredible and intricate and detailed and how much stuff there is to see on that tour?
Yeah.
But you're going in a straight line doing what they want you to do.
Yeah, it's a bit like that. Yes.
It's how I feel about that. It's like a guided tour. It's a museum. There's a lot of that in AAA gaming nowadays, thanks to the prestige TV style of video games. I think that's the thing where you and I, even though we oftentimes do feel different about video games, that's one thing where we overlap on of like, let me go off the bean path a little bit. Let me do things a little bit differently.
That's all. Like,
give me some kind of options here.
Yeah, I love plenty of games that are like,
or the illusion of it, like pretend that
the illusion of choice is so important.
Yes,
it's so important. If you can pull that off, fine. Like let me be the idiot who thinks that I have choice here, but like
it doesn't have to be choice. Like because like a 2D platformer, I'm not making a lot of choices in there, but I feel like they have created a space for me to do my thing in like a Mario Brothers Wonder or something like that. It's like I'm going to run along, and then the game's going to kind of happen around it, sort of reacting to me as the player. And that feels amazing. It feels like I'm part of the band. Like they're playing their instruments expertly, and they're inviting me in. You play along, and you're going to feel like you're part of the band, and you're going to have to react to some of our stuff, and we're going to throw some stuff at you. And we have experts over here designing those things, understanding the best way to do that to accomplish that goal. And I just don't feel any of that when I was playing Red Dead Redemption 2, which that's not what everyone's there for. So when I say these complaints, I think it does sound crazy to a lot of people.
Sure,
Big Fresh 37 says, of all of Mike's butt stuff, which is your favorite?
His love of pegging.
Yeah, definitely. Number one. Number two for me are the giant farts, the giant, when he gets, I was going to say colostomy farts. That's a colostomy bag. Colonoscopy farts. Which are just musical.
Especially when they're filmed.
Yes.
Especially when they're filmed.
For posterity.
Like a plate of spaghetti or something.
Mike says fardaga, which I think is an old family joke that they've been making for a long time. I think that's right, Mike. If not, it's great. Caleb Else
or something. It kills you if you use it.
Yeah, it kills.
Yeah, they say it's a Minotti thing. The different levels of farts are like, that was a fardaga.
Yeah,
holy shit.
That's very good. Caleb Else says, Sean, if you live stream a reaction to the Nintendo Direct either on GB or on your Twitch, Can you refer to the video as your live react Sean to the Nintendo Direct Sean? Thank you for your attention in this matter.
People really want me to lean into the puns when I like post VODs of my
Of
streams
course.
and stuff.
Yes, people love wordplay. That's the one thing we can all agree on.
Yeah, sure. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe I won't because of SEO reasons, but let's be real. No one watches my videos anyway. So if
no
it's
one
on my
watches
personal
it.
channel, who cares?
Just have fun with it. Yeah.
Just have some fun with it. Yeah, maybe. Because, if this is a small presents that I don't expect anyone to care about other than me. So maybe I will just do a personal stream of it and we'll see if anything's announced. Yeah, maybe I'll put a little pun in there. Sure.
Not
or,
a bad
yes,
idea.
as my chat came up with at one point, more hashtag Sean-tent.
Yeah, more Sean Tent. Input name here, right?
It sounds gross when you say it.
Yeah, give me the Sean Tent. Input name here says post-credit stinger for Donkey Kong Bonanza. Who shows up in it? I think it's Mario, and he has a gun, and he's like right in DK and says, "Get in the cage, you damn dirty ape," and that's how it ends.
Well, you had me. You lost me, but you had me.
Oh man. Okay, we'll go back to the gun, and then there we go.
Maybe a rare character, like maybe K. Rool or something, and they try to tie it all together.
That I would like that. I mean I love King K. Rool. Definitely, I think the best character to come out. Well, there's Funky Kong. A lot of good characters in those rare games. It's not a competition. I love them all. King K. Rool I think is a good one because I don't get the sense that the King K. Rool and his band of misfits are at all involved in the enemy selection for this game.
Oh yeah, I was gonna ask. They do own all of those characters, right? It's just a little weird sometimes.
I think it's right. I think they're fully in the clear to use those characters however they want. Yeah, because those are
cool. Because obviously, Diddy Kong and Dixie and everything are those two specifically are in the trailer. We know they're in the game in some capacity. Right. So yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't it like Kingdom Hearts and Disney, where like the characters were created by Square Enix, but they actually belong to to Disney type deal?
I think it's like that. Yeah, it all belongs to Nintendo.
Yeah. Oh yeah. For the Donkey Kong stuff specifically, yes. For like Banjo,
it all belongs to Nintendo, even our souls.
Yes, it all. Yeah, go ahead and take it. Epic Open World writes, who is more upset, Shiggy with DK spoilers ahead of release, or Bacalar with any conversation about Mike's poop shoot?
Jesus Christ.
Probably Bacalar. I don't know how much, because Shigeru might only be mad that there are story things to be spoiled in Donkey Kong. He's like, how dare you put story in a video game? I'll kill you. But Bacalar really doesn't like hearing about Mike's butt, and he had to hear about it a lot these past couple of days.
Just gotta get used to it.
Yeah, like we all did. Doug Foot writes, Nate the Hate mentioned some devs not getting Switch 2 dev kits until potentially 2026. Would that mean, assuming it takes roughly 5 years to make a new game, that a third-party studio could only really expect to put out a single game on this system? How can that be healthy for the Switch 2 as a platform? I mean, a lot of those developers are going to have games that they've already been working on, and now they will just have to get caught up on the Switch 2 for sure, and that will be a pain in the ass. But they likely will just get a lot of that work ported over using the Switch 2 dev kit, and that game is already effectively 2-3 years into development. And so they'll get a game or two out on this thing. But they were never going to have dev kits 5 years ago to have stuff ready, so there was always going to be a delay. I don't really know how they solve this problem, other than obviously they should give as many developers as they can dev kits. I
don't think you necessarily need a dev kit to release a game on the Switch. I think it's better. It's way easier if you have one. But
you definitely don't even need a Switch 2 dev kit. If you have a Switch 1 dev kit, you definitely can just do everything there and just release it as a Switch 1 game.
Oh yeah.
But there's the Switch 2 does seem like it has a lot of bespoke features that you're only going to really be able to activate through a dev kit. So I think that's
like the DLSS and stuff.
Right. And that's going to be a big hang up for a lot of studios.
I think.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I think we probably just don't know exactly how many do have it. Some big players have been struggling to get them because Nintendo isn't sending out as many. I don't know, just sort of a sneaking suspicion that maybe more are out there than we know, and just obviously people can't talk about them.
Yep. All right. Nolan says, since an athlete with the nickname Big Dumper won the home run derby recently, it got me thinking, who is the Big Dumper of video game fighter characters? Okay. Yeah, or should we look and see what Big Dumper looks like?
I was just gonna say Widowmaker initially, but then threw me for a loop with fighter character.
Big
I was gonna
Dumper,
say Chun-Li.
Every Street Fighter
Armika.
character.
Oh, Mike also said
Armika.
Armika. Yeah.
Oh yeah. She
We all know.
literally hits you with the pitch. So
Yeah, asses to asses, butts to butts. Yeah,
And
exactly.
Big Dumper does have a big butt. That he's a catcher.
There you go.
So he's
Armika.
got to have those hams. Okay. Yep. Armika for
I
sure.
love that that movie is called The Peach. So yeah, pretty good.
Darachi says, "What do you think there are more of in the world? Games in which you, the player, can shoot a gun, or games in which you can't?" This is the wheels versus doors thing or whatever.
Yeah. Steam definitely skews that, but I think there are still more games without.
Yeah, I think it probably is more games without. But God, there are a lot of games where listen, there's a reason for that. Shooting in games just makes sense and works. It's a good solution to get the player to feel like they can interact with the world, doing something fun and familiar. So, of course, shooting's going to be a common thing. PDK27 says, now that the Switch 2 is out, anybody else looking at a big pile of Chinese handhelds that were purchased when the Switch 1 was getting long in the tooth and thinking, what did I do? Look, sometimes yes, but no, I still look at these things and I get pretty excited. I'm like, the Trim UI brick here, and I still like this thing quite a bit. So maybe I didn't need as many as I got, though. So yeah, I'm with you. All right, we're gonna take a break, and when we come back, we have more mailbag to get to. A lot of good questions this episode. So looking forward to getting to the rest.
Yeah.
We'll do that right after this. Does that sound good, Sean?
Sounds good to me.
Back after this.
All right, good break.
All right, cool.
Let's keep going.
Half an hour chunks. Let's go. Well, a little bit more, but
All right, cool. Here we go.
Are we ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right.
All right, we're back. Last of the Nintendogs are going to keep going with the mailbag. I'm going to read this one from Chris2K, who writes, Sean, what is your theory about the Pokemon Presents teaser image with Pikachu in front of the DJ table? Are we getting a Pokemon rhythm game, a Pokemon music app? Is Pikachu hosting a rave with X-Speed and Gardevoirs? Jeff can also share his expert thoughts on, of course, love you, dogs. Is that not how you say Gardevoirs?
No, just X-Speed and Gardevoirs. Like,
I get the X-Speed joke. How does what makes
speed and hookers is basically what they're
thank you
going for there.
Cool.
Yeah.
Glad I asked.
So I looked up the image when I saw us come in. It is specifically, I don't think it's like turntables per se. It could be. It looks like Pikachu standing in front of, or not like a DJ station per se, but it is like turntables and speakers.
Okay.
It could be a dedicated like Pokemon music app, sort of like how there's a Nintendo music app. That's a possibility.
I could easily see that. There has not been any Pokemon music on the Nintendo music app, right?
To my knowledge, at least. Yeah.
Yeah.
You follow that more than I do.
I don't think so. Yeah. So far, I've not seen anything. Also, I'd like to make a correction. The big dumper of video games is clearly Wario. So you guys have seen that thing. He's packing cake there.
I mean, you seen Armika? I'm just saying.
Okay.
Before you continue, I looked up Gardevoirs and y'all fucking nasty as fuck.
Wow. All right, Dan. Jeez.
Wow. So judgmental. Let me take a look at the Gardevoir. Listen. What's the not Mr. Mime?
Mega Gardevoir. Look up Mega Gardevoir.
Megan Gardevoir.
Especially because you look so
Megan.
so not fuckable. Like, what are you doing?
Okay.
Look,
yeah.
to quote Grand Pooh Bear, Gardevoir is the Pokemon where I could take it to a party and just say, this is my human wife, and the fewest amount of people would look at me sideways. And he's right.
Is her dress a flower? Like, it's
just a dress. You know?
Okay.
Like it's
just a dress, huh? All right.
Yeah, just
All right.
Cool. Joy Z. Why did Mike do that to my nice, wholesome Donkey Kong draft game? I actually thought it was really fun, but you don't have to tell Mike that. Yeah, we won't. We will make sure that he doesn't hear. Yeah, that was a good time. Joy Z. Anytime you want to do more stuff like that, let us know. That was a really cool game.
not not what he recommended in the Discord earlier today.
Wait, not what? Who recommended for what?
Joycey.
What?
I was like, nope, you ain't doing that one.
Oh no. Okay. Well, I'm gonna go look into this for myself. Should we? We're teasing because it's something vile, but do we have to tell the podcast listeners now?
The waifu draft, Jeff, and I'm just like, no, we need so many more patrons for that to happen.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I was gonna say maybe we hit a certain Patreon goal. We'll do that as a bonus episode. Okay, I'm thinking now. Waifus are the key to riches, Sean. All right, we got to unlock that waifu money. Benji Bob writes, Dear Beef and Cheddar Boy and Sean, insert your own Arby's nickname here. May I suggest French Dip Dude? Have either of you, and maybe Mike can answer at a later date, tried the Arby's cheesesteak? I swear it's way better than it has any right to be, which should be Arby's motto. This is way better than it has any right to be. What's going on here? And might be my new favorite thing on the menu. Cannot be missed. I think I'll have one before starting up a Bonanza. It's what Seth Rogen would have wanted me to do. That's very true. I don't think I have. I'm at a low point with cheese right now, Sean. In my life, my lifelong relationship with cheese, it's at a low point where like I kind of can't even look at it anymore without kind of feeling a little bit nauseous.
Lactose issues?
Lactose issues, yeah. And it's again the
gotcha.
the post-nasal drip and stuff. That's where it's not the tummy stuff, but it's just it makes me feel and yet it's still so delicious. But I don't think I could do a cheesesteak at the moment. But I like a cheesesteak. I like Arby's. I would like to try this. It does sound pretty good.
Yeah, sounds good. I haven't tried it myself yet, but hey, maybe I will. I need some for lunch tomorrow.
Gerber says, Louis is clearly the most irredeemable, black-hearted SOB in Nintendo's oeuvre of villainy. Will we ever see him getting his justified comeuppance, or does a Pikmin game always need to dangle the pick carrot of Louis finally getting redacted for reasons of taste? Louis like steals your shit, right? And kind of runs away, and like whenever I think that's how it goes in Pikmin. I gotta be honest, I sort of go into a fugue state when I'm playing Pikmin just because it's got that really good strong loop and I can turn my brain off and just do the loop. I think Louis is kind of a bastard though. I don't remember the exact details. Yeah, they should kill him.
Expert, I defer to you on this one. Oh, okay. I see.
Sludge Reinhold writes, do you think we will get a Wario game that isn't a WarioWare or a Yoshi game that isn't a baby's first platformer anytime this generation or even next? Feels like those two characters are firmly relegated to those lanes. I think the next Wario game we get is something along the lines of Wario Land. Because I think they did so many WarioWares kind of so fast back to back that I feel like when they go to return to that character, it'll be like, let's try something a little bit different. And it's been a while since, what was the last like 2D one from them at least? Was it Master of Disguise or whatever that is for the Wii?
I think Shake It came out after that.
Shake It did come out after that. Okay. It's been a while since that game. Try again, and I bet it could be, if they give it a chance, could be a lot better. But I don't know. What do you think?
In my head, I see Wario platformers and WarioWare as two different things. It's kind of like Mario Party in my head.
Yeah.
I just see them differently. I know Wario has had so many of those, and that's been his only like leading role for a while. That does feel like he's trapped there. But yeah, I can see them doing another Wario Land at any second now, especially the Switch 2 feels like it's going to end up catering more towards the hardcore crowd now that the casual crowd has sort of already been captured. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see them bust it out from nowhere.
And then for Yoshi, I don't know.
Yoshi kind of has to be baby's first platformer. Like especially as Kirby is growing up a little bit, they need someone to sort of carry that torch. I just think Yoshi's the perfect character for that. Like my best friend loves dinosaurs, and he has since he was a little kid. And part of that is because Yoshi. It's adorable. And so I think they're again, Yoshi's going to stick in that role.
Yeah, it was weird because it was like Kirby was supposed to be that role, and then Yoshi's Island came along and was just a great platformer. And then for some reason, Nintendo was like, we're going to make Yoshi for even younger kids than Kirby. And Kirby somehow has like not aged up a little bit, but like, Kirby's Forgotten Land is more complicated than any Yoshi game recently. So yeah, it's just kind of weird how they did a flip there. Keywork says, sup homies, pour one out for Mikey. But in the meantime, do you guys think that after Night Rain has quietly been killing it, that the Duskbloods will be looked upon differently when we see more of it. At the time of everyone learning it was multiplayer, the sentiment was in kind of cautious vibes. Thanks. There's a PS here. I adopted 3 kittens and named them Arthas, Illidan, and Sylvanas. Curious if you guys can guess what games I named them after, Jeff, or what game it's one.
Warcraft.
World of Warcraft, as my guess. There you go.
Oh, good guess, Jeff.
Thank
good
you.
Yes, proud of you.
Sylvanas did sound like a Warcraft character. I think I've heard that before.
Yeah, that's the only one I recognize, but I believe they're all Warcraft characters.
Oh, sorry, I wasn't paying attention. My bad. I just heard the names and I was like, "That's World of Warcraft."
You felt compelled. Power of Blizzard compelled him. Oh,
good
shit.
names from
Good
a good
names.
video game.
So the Duskbloods looked differently upon now that Night Rain has been sort of this massive hit. Yeah, I think so. I think for sure what has happened is that a lot of From fans have been like, oh wait, I had a great time with this, and yeah, maybe this is not what I would have asked for, but now that I've played a ton of Night Rain, I get what they can do when they go full multiplayer. At the same time, I expect most of them to be like, I just played your multiplayer game. I don't need another one. I could just go play more Night Rain. So what does Duskbloods do that is different? But I think that still is a net positive there, Keywork, because I think most people will be more open now to the idea that this could be a different kind of multiplayer experience from them that they also really want. I'm very curious about Duskbloods personally.
Same here, because I know that some people who are like super hardcore into single player From games don't love Night Rain, but I do think, yeah, Night Rain has been doing well in a more casual space or people who don't specifically need that experience. So yeah, I think we could be pleasantly surprised by Duskbloods. I think that it could take off if the quality is there, and it looks like so far, hey, it's kind of just that Bloodborne 2 vibe, just a different playstyle than maybe we were expecting.
I don't know if anyone was watching, saw me just get viciously attacked by the 6-year-old, but she was mad that I ate all the Tetris gummies that Sega sent me today. Yeah, I'm sorry, the gamer gummies, Tetris variety. I ate those.
You did well. You protected that kid from the gamer gummies.
I did protect her from the gamer gummies. Yeah, she doesn't know the sacrifices that I make for her. But she's like, where are the Tetris gummies? I ate them. And then she hits me and walks away. So,
but by the way, shout outs to the viewer who just Venmo'd me with the note Arby's cheesesteak money.
Oh, hell yeah. All right. Everyone,
has lunch tomorrow sorted.
There you go. Okay, well, I want a full report. I want to hear about it. All right. Big Tony says, my dogs. Jeff, any update on when you are going to change / revise perks for members / patrons? Also Q&A. I know you guys are busy, but I don't want you to forget like how Mike forgot he promised the kids a new gamer rap. Thanks. Christian, when did we do that last Q&A? That was within the last month, right? No,
it was like previous month.
Okay. Yeah, because I did one.
Yes.
Okay, so we'll do another one here pretty soon. And then revising the perks. Yeah, we are actually we're in a weird spot. So we were going to upgrade our Patreon membership thing on our side so that we can have like the whole team over here work on it and do stuff and kind of make it more active. But they stopped accepting people into that tier because they are getting rid of that tier, making one tier where they're combining all those features into one. And they're changing around the pricing or whatever. That's not important. But they have not done that yet. And so we kind of are waiting for them to click that into place before it's like, because I kind of want to like have some help with that stuff and not just be like, okay, now let's decide on something. And now it all has to go through me to make sure I get in there and make those changes. It's kind of better if I can just let when Christian's going to upload something, Christian can just do it. And once we have that stuff in place, I will revise everything and make sure that the perks are very clear. It's not going to be a ton of stuff, but I do feel like there's room for some more bonuses and things like that. Like 2 things a month, that sort of thing. But they would be substantial along the lines of Jeopardy and things we've done with Sean before. But we'll see.
Yeah.
All right. Two Bear says, I don't want Pokemon to expand in terms of world scope and graphical fidelity. I want deep systems that are actually relevant and get more experimental in terms of simulation. Which indie game do you think Pokemon could most learn from to make mainline games deeper and more compelling? Sean, do you have any like things you like? Man, I wish the team would take inspiration from this or that.
No, I have a harsh reality for you, Tuber. Pokemon ain't changing drastically anytime soon in the mainline games. Because guess what? They still sell 25 million plus every time. So yeah, they're going to keep going with the formula that works. I think this is something that Pokemon fans need to accept as they get older, as a lot of us has. Pokemon games are for kids. It's as simple as that. Like, they are for 8-year-olds. And if you like them as an adult, like I do, like you can see all this stuff behind me, I still love them. But they are kids games first and foremost. So they do need to keep the mainline games simple. But Legends is there for you because you want something different. You go Legends. We saw it with Arceus. We're seeing with ZA, they're adding real-time battles, like action RPG battles, to a Pokemon game for the first time in a real way. And so I think basically, if you want something more intricate, you're going to have to look to more Pokemon spin-off stuff like the Legends games and whatnot, which I think is cool. I think it's cool that they are finally introducing options for an older audience, a different audience, while still having the core games be for that younger audience. So unfortunately, I just don't think you're going to get them looking at other games and trying to see like what they could do quote unquote better, because at least financially, they're doing just fine.
All right. Ezipsis writes in, hey, Jeff, you mentioned you've been listening to video game history audiobooks lately. Can you give us a few recommendations? I really enjoyed Masters of Doom and Doom Guy. I was thinking of starting Not All Fairy Tales Have Happy Endings by Ken Williams next. That sounds like a good one. So I've been kind of mixing in those books with some like general computer history books, some of the ones that Mike has been reading and recommending me. I did start, I'd been still listening to History of the Pixel or the Story of the Pixel or whatever. And that one is from the point of view of one of the founders of Pixar. They kind of talk about general computing and things like that, and digital light, as he calls it, of being able to render an image in bits. And the whole history of that in video games come up in that one. And it's pretty good. It's pretty technical early on, but I've appreciated some of that stuff because it's different. It's like reframed like some of the ways I think about pixels, where it's like I always did think about them as tiny little squares in a matrix. And it's like that's never really been what a pixel is. It's a sample in a space on a matrix, but it's not just a turn this rectangle this color or something like that. It's way more complicated than that. So yeah, I recommend that. Excuse me. There's some like general Nintendo history books that like everyone goes to. I've not read any of those, and I think that's what I'm going to do next. It's not like Game Over. It's like a kind of generic name that I can never remember. But there is like a well-known like go-to Nintendo history book that everyone has read. That's what I'm going to do next. So that's where I'm at. I'm going to go back to just general video game stuff, and then kind of mix in some of these computer history books in there as well. Yeah, that's right, Christian. It's called The Bible. That's right. Jake, yeah, go ahead.
Slightly different from the question, but if you're willing to do this with YouTube videos, but like videos you can just listen to in the background. I mentioned Beta 64 earlier in the show, and I do recommend him for that. It's very much, he has good visual guides, but he is sort of like reading his findings from going through articles and stuff to explain the history of a video game. Wrestling with Gaming also does a great job of that as well, where you can like put on the background, just like listen to him narrate it to you, boss. If you look at your TV, your phone or whatever, you'll see some cool visuals on screen. And even MVG is getting into that. He's done a couple of that here and there. He just put one out about Psygnosis. I think it's a 2-parter, and he put out part 1. So,
that's cool.
Yeah, YouTube can be really good for that, for just more and more people are doing that, where you can have just listenable videos. So it's a kind of similar thing.
Yeah. Gaming Historian's Tetris documentary, I think, is one of the top tier ones for me.
Yeah,
really
I miss Norm.
Yep.
I'm sad that he had to sort of step away from it because he just couldn't really like fit it in with everything he had going on, and in the same way and everything. But yeah, Gaming Historian videos have always been incredible.
Yeah, if you watch the Tetris movie on Apple TV Plus or whatever, definitely pair it with that documentary, because it really shows the reality versus the Hollywood depiction of it or whatever. But you still get a good idea of like kind of like, oh, this is referencing this real moment and telling that story in that way. All right. Jake Bakes Cakes writes in, been listening since the beginning, but I finally gave you all the money you deserve a few months ago. Wow. Thanks, Jake Bakes Cakes. And today I finally checked the Discord at the right time. So here's a question. Do you think
Sorry about the butt stuff, Jake.
Hey, the butt stuff worked out in Jake's favor this time. Do you think Nintendo will keep doing these developer interviews for every major game? What do you think caused them to start this new PR/marketing angle? Thanks for all you do. You all are truly the best gentlemen in gaming. Thank you, Jake. Yeah, so IGN did do this big interview. I think that's what they're referencing here. The big interview for Donkey Kong Bonanza. And that is a little abnormal. I mean, honestly, if something like that were to have happened previously, it would have been like ran internally at Nintendo. And I think they probably realized, like, while those things are nice, those interviews can reach more people if we let someone like IGN do it. It's still going to get all of the pickup from, news aggregators and things like that. But now it's got this big pillar over at IGN that can sort of trumpet it. And it's definitely worked. I feel like that interview really was everywhere for a couple of days. Obviously, a big part of that is Donkey Kong Bonanza is huge and people are looking forward to it. But I don't know what the motivations are for this other than maybe they realized they could reach more people. Is there anything more to it, you think?
Chad is pointing out that they did an Ask the Developer today.
Oh, is that okay?
Apparently about DK.
Okay, so they have.
So
I think that's part of their tradition of that they do a lot of this kind of stuff internally, where they run these. Yeah, they have Nintendo people ask questions about their games, and that's the whole Ask Iwata book is based on that sort of thing.
Exactly. Yeah. I was gonna say, like, speaking of Iwata, like that was his thing for a while there during like the Wii. Well, I was gonna say during the Wii era, the actual Iwata Asks program, where you want to call it, the article series, basically, where he would just interview the developers, and then they would put that out as, hey, here's an article for you to read about like Iwata interviewed the developers himself to like get an idea of what's going on in their heads. So yeah, Nintendo does like to put the stuff out there, as secretive as they can be. They do like to do this stuff. Yeah,
I feel like there are examples of this exact kind of internal interview being made public for the purposes of public consumption, going back for years and years and years with Nintendo now. So yeah, I think this is pretty normal. So I would expect more of it. JD Camp, with the last letter in our mailbag here, writes, instead of the noobs hole, can we get an Ernest Klein slam poetry hole this year? What is that? I think there is like a YouTube like video where he reads it or something like that, or someone reads it. Just that playing on repeat. JD Camp, I would go insane, but I do think it would raise a lot of money for kids. So I might suggest this to Dan and see what he says. Man, the noobs hole was rough, especially at like late at night, getting sent in there for the whole movie. That was bad stuff.
You poor bastard. Like, that was diabolical.
Really
Someone
sucked.
donated an insane amount of money to charity. I forget exactly who it was, but it was for a good cause. It was an inspired thing that Dan concocted there. I would not be surprised if we get something similar this year.
Yep. And I'm starting to really look forward to Extra Life and stuff like that. So
yeah, that was a lot of fun last year. Yeah.
All right, that does it for the mailbag. We're going to take one more break. We'll come back and talk about what we've been playing. We will wrap up the super chats. So we get quite a few more of those coming in. If you get a few more of those in right now, we promise to get to all of them before we're done. We'll do that right after this.
All right. Okay.
Banana.
Okay.
Banana.
I'm good.
You good?
Yeah, I'm good. Right. You good?
Beautiful.
Yep. Not a lot to talk about, so we can get wrapped up here.
Cool.
All right.
All right, we're back. Turbo Sean, what have you been playing?
Not related to Nintendo. I'll keep it quick, although could be on Nintendo soon.
Yeah, right. That's what it feels like for all these games. Yeah.
Well, Helldivers 2 is still a very good video game, Jeff.
Okay, that's awesome. Have you been playing with the boys or something? Like, what have you been doing?
Yeah, that's been our game night game for the past couple of weeks. We just revisited it. It's been a very long time, so like we're seeing things that we had not seen yet. They had that faction that's like zombies,
right?
And so doing those missions feels completely different than the other ones. It's just a good video game. It's awesome. Go back in there. Hey, it's coming to Xbox next month, so maybe it will come to Switch 2 at some point, right?
I think, I think so. Kind of no reason for it not to. If it's on Xbox,
Right everywhere.
Yeah, why wouldn't they put it on Switch 2? I've been mentioning this whenever this game's come up recently, but that is one of the games that has found its way into my algorithm on, I think, specifically Instagram. And so I'll get some reels based on that game, and it's a lot of like incredible edits of these last stands where this incredible player is doing all these really amazing cinematic moves as the entire world blows up around them. And they, finally are able to get their rocket launcher that was blown across the thing over there, and they get in, they shoot 5 missiles into the ship as it's coming over the top, and it just looks so awesome. We need to make time to get back into this game. So it's
incredible how like they made scripted stuff feel like emergent gameplay. Like when me and the guys were like fighting our last stand last week. That feeling of the ship is here, go, and like running into it and like trying to like save each other from whatever alien was trying to kill us. It's a fun video game.
Yeah, and it just shows like, if you know how to wield your tools, it doesn't really matter how it's happening in the background, as long as it feels a certain way to the player. And that game masters that stuff.
But the main thing I've been playing recently, outside of, the usual stuff trickling through, like Last Defense Academy, still chipping away at that and stuff. Jeff, I've been playing Mega Man. Not Legends.
Okay.
Not Battle Network. Not even X or Zero.
Is there a number even on it?
NES, Mega Man 1.
Wow.
And 2 and 3 subsequently. They played X4 at GDQ, and I was inspired to like go back and play some X for a little bit. But I was like, I haven't played the NES ones in a very long time. Not since Legacy Collection first came out. Basically, anytime a re-release comes out, I try to play them. But I haven't given them like a real playthrough in a very long time. So I was like, screw it, I'll go back and play them. And my thoughts kind of still what I always thought. Mega Man 1, it's almost like a Street Fighter situation. Like not quite the same, but like at Combo Breaker, a mystery, like a pop-up tournament happened where they're like, hey, free tournament, everyone sign up. If you're sitting in the audience here, you're not doing anything, come on, sign up for this thing. I will put in $1 for every person that registers. And so they got like a $50 pot with like 50 people in it. It's like, okay, what game are we playing? You're playing Street Fighter 1 on the Nintendo Switch, 2 players, 1 controller. It was hype as hell, but the entire time me and my friends were thinking, it is a miracle we got Street Fighter 2. What the hell?
Yes, God.
Yeah. Mega Man 1, again, not nearly that situation, but it is sort of like, man, this game's got problems. It is impressive that we got 2 and all the ones after that, because like 2 is such a leap forward. Like I finished 1, hopped into 2, and then 3 now I'm playing right now. And I think I'm with Mike on this one. I think I like 3 quite a bit more.
Okay, he'll be happy to hear that. Yeah.
2 has some glaring flaws if you like play them back to back. And 3 is just, I think they really got in the rhythm with 3, and I'm enjoying that quite a bit. I'm gonna be finishing it here tonight. I've done all the masters. I just got finish the game here, and then I'll probably just keep going. I'm having a fun time. You can beat each of them in like 2 hours ish, even if you're not like doing speed running crap. So like it's been a fun time. I really like these games a lot, and
I'm envious.
I do. Do you not like the NES Mega Mans? Or?
I definitely liked them, and I've played more of them than I could remember, because I remember recently I was like, I don't know if I ever beat an NES Mega Man, and then I was like watching a video or something like, oh no, I remember all this game now that I'm seeing it in front of me. And I think it was like Mega Man 5 or 6, or one where you like had the dog and you can make the platforms or stuff like that. And I remember enjoying that. But when I try to go back, it's when I'm playing NES games, my brain is thinking Super Mario Brothers, and I am like impatient in Super Mario Brothers. I run through that game as fast as I can. And Mega Man is a game where you need to be patient, and I have to I have to turn that gear on in my brain. It's not one that is just on naturally, and so I have to kind of get in the rhythm of Mega Man.
Do you like Contra?
I do like Contra.
Okay, because similar to Contra.
Yeah, I can do it, and I do like Mega Man. It's just not one that I like naturally fit into in that way.
Okay.
Contra's kind of got.
Because I know you're not really into X either, right?
Yeah, I've never been able to like make X click for me. I've not spent a ton of times trying to make that happen, but I've definitely tried a couple of times and had people being like, "You're gonna love X," and I'm like, "I'm trying it," and like it just doesn't immediately grab me. So I'm like, "Is this gonna be for me?" I don't know if I'm gonna do that. I want to like make a Mega Man like kind of sprint and like really try a bunch of them and really give them the college try. So yeah, when I hear this, I'm like, "Oh, that's awesome."
I was gonna real quick wrap this segment up by saying that I want to try something after it because I'm playing on Legacy Collection just because it's a convenient way for me to play them. Like I didn't have all of them, so the ones that I didn't have, I got on the summer sale for like $3 a pop. It's just an easy way to do the emulation. I do really want to try I don't know if you heard about this, the homebrew developer Infidelity. He's done NES to Super Nintendo ports. And like not remasters or modifications or anything, literally just porting NES games to run on Super Nintendo. And it's like basically what if the Super Nintendo had backwards compatibility?
Yeah, that's
just
awesome.
Those NES games, running better, no like sprite flicker, no slowdown. He adds like the MSU soundtracks to some of them, so like CD quality audio in places. I think he's using that for, I want to say like Metroid. I think this was the mod where like it allowed him to take the Famicom Disk System audio and just play that on the Super Nintendo because it's capable of it.
Right. That's awesome. Okay. I want to check that stuff out. That sounds fantastic.
That could be a way for you to revisit those.
Okay. Yeah, definitely. I'm going to try. I got the GameCube set up and I have the Mega Man collections that came out for GameCube on the optical drive emulator. And,
that's one of those games.
Booting it up on there. Yeah.
You can still buy new PS2 copies on Amazon.
Really?
Because they just kept printing them forever, and so there's still some floating around. Same with the Final Fantasy X and like Kingdom Hearts 2. You can still just buy new copies of those games.
Wild.
Like, yeah.
And there was that system was very popular. I guess some of those prints got out of hand. Right. Anything else that you've been playing?
No. What have you been up to, Jeff?
Not a ton. Like I've been messing around with the GameCube again, so I was playing some Wario World, and kind of I think I'm like really going to try to play that. That game is a lot of fun.
It's a good game.
It's a good game, and it's it's got that treasure snappiness to it, where it's just like everything I'm doing feels cool and nice. It's maybe no Gunstar Heroes, but it's definitely a great game.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm kind of like getting the idea of like what that game is, playing some of it. I also like keep like eyeballing Skies of Arcadia and stuff like that. I'm like, there's Panzer Dragoon Saga, which I've played a fair amount of and really enjoyed, but I've not like beaten that game or really gotten close. There is Chrono Trigger. There's like these really cool not Final Fantasy RPGs that I've like always been interested in. And I'm like, I want to maybe pick one of them and play through them. But I'm like, it's hard to like make that fit into the content schedule we have at Giant Bomb right now. And I also don't like if I was going to do it on my personal stream, because I kind of want to stream it. So if I was going to do it on my personal stream, I've kind of only been able to make like once a week work. And I don't know if that's a good cadence for those kinds of games. So I'm like, I got to try to like force this into my schedule somehow, because I want to play through all of those games at some point. And it'd be the kind of thing where it's like I could let the audience vote on which one they want to see first, which I think would be Chrono Trigger. I think that just wins any poll it's in, but I guess that's just me guessing.
Yeah.
And then Switch 2, been poking around on that thing again, just kind of waiting for Donkey Kong. Still, I think I'm going to finish up Survival Kids here pretty soon. I think I want to mostly just say that I beat that game because almost no one else has played it. So it'll be fun to just have that one beaten. And then Puyo Puyo Tetris 2. Yes. A lot of that, mostly because, Sega sent me some stuff, but the kids have been like into Puyo Puyo Tetris for some reason. They can walk around the house yelling Puyo Puyo Tetris. And I don't know why. I think they just like the characters.
Is it the characters?
Maybe.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's a very cutesy art style, very like anime for kids. So I could see them liking that.
Yeah, I think that they would. I think that's what they're reacting to. I've like usually they're playing it while I'm busy with work, so I'm kind of glancing over and I'm like, "Are you still playing Puyo Puyo Tetris 2?" And they're like, "Yeah." So, but I think they go through the characters. I don't even know if the characters are voiced, and I don't know how much of it they're reading. Because they can read some, but they don't read a ton. And it's like, okay, so you guys just looking at these cute characters doing stuff? Maybe. Beyond that, though, not much. Kind of just, like I said, biding time till Donkey Kong. All right, Sean, let's wrap up the super chat so we can get on out of here.
Yep, a few more here. Simon from Saskatchewan is back. Rascal Mike's favorite amendment is the second. Yeah, sure.
He looks like it for sure.
EP Idiot Box. If the Nintendo Vitality sensor had come out, Mike wouldn't need a regular colonoscopy. Nintendo screwed Mikey's butt. What a damn shame.
Yeah, you just jam a vitality sensor up there and it takes care of everything for you. Yeah.
Regulates everything naturally. Yeah. Mikey O'Leary, just start buying aged cheeses, Jeff. Lactose dies off in the aging process and crystallizes in a delicious way.
Yeah, I fuck with that. That sounds like a good plan. The problem is like, going out and trying to get pizza or something from a restaurant that's not caring about that. They're just using their government cheese. And yeah, that's going to have extra lactose in it. But I definitely want to try to like find the cheeses that are going to be like good for me. So yeah, that sounds like a good process.
I got cheese for the first time in a while, and that shit is so good, bro.
Yeah,
I can't like.
I saw you say like you were just trying cheese, but is that you were just trying cheese for the first time in a while? Is that what that was?
I skidded about burger because I had a burger after a year and a half, something like that.
It's like
it was like doing drugs. I was like, shit, I want more of this.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I need to chill before I like.
Yeah, do not become addicted to the meat. Yeah, you will resent its absence for sure.
I posted it. I can see why people like ruin their life just eating this, like that guy on the documentary. We usually eat that. So pretty good. Food is pretty good actually when you can eat it.
Yeah, it's not bad. Definitely not bad food. All right, any more super chats?
One last one here from CJ. Microsoft was doing great last year. Then Phil Spencer saw Mike Minotti's feet. Was that Phil's heel turn moment? And it was a scorched earth for Xbox.
He held the feet dust, and that turned his like
dark.
Yep.
Hey, because it's like second generation foot dust. Because Mike had inhaled his dad's foot dust, and that has emboldened Mike's foot dust.
Mike's dad's foot dust got absorbed within him, and then like went back out.
And now that shit like attacked Phil Spencer's brain, and now here we are. It makes perfect sense to me. Was he on the same night that Mike showed feet? Was that how that went at that time?
Presumably. Yeah, I think so.
All right. Well, it's a good website over there. All right. I think that's going to do it for the show, though. Sean, why don't you tell people where they can find you on the internet, all that good stuff? Go ahead. That's the wrong...
Blue Sky.
That's the right music. My bad.
That's the right music. You're good.
There we go.
Blue Sky, Twitch, and YouTube are all Turbo Sean, SHAWN. I do stream on the weekends on there and then post the VODs over at YouTube, so you can catch those there. TurboSean.com is also a convenient link tree where you find all that. And then, of course, I'm helping out at Giant Bomb again, editing the podcast and doing social clips mostly. So please follow us in all the places. Blue Sky, TikTok, Instagram, and everything. Put likes and thumbs up on the YouTube shorts and everything, and share them around if you find them funny, because that helps people find them.
Hell yeah. Thank you so much, Sean. Thank you, everybody, for watching and listening. We'll be back with the sides on Thursday. Mike should probably be back by then, but, if he needs more time, he can take it.
But it'll be healed.
Bye, everybody. Have a good one.
Q&A, probably weekend. I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Hi, doggy.
It's not as fun as jacking off in
Funny, you turn that bad boy on, and out it comes.